Good evening and welcome to Byju's Exam Prep. Am I audible and visible? Good evening, Anushka. Am I audible and visible? Good evening, Sharmi, Dikshit, Anushka. Thank you. Dikshit, you have missed a few classes. This is not my first. This should be I think my fourth or fifth. Yeah, am I audible and visible? Okay, great. Thank you. Let some more people join in and then I'll continue. Rupa, good evening. Simran, Sanjay. Ankush, you have an essay class. The timing is clashing, is it? I'm not sure about that. When is the essay class? Ankush? Um, it depends. Ankush, maybe you can listen to the recordings of essay class. Oh my God. Okay. No, I cannot say much about it because I don't know about this clash of timing. Yes, Ankush. Just hold on. Let me check up. They're still looking into the technical part of it. Welcome and good evening once again. Recorded classes, regarding the recorded classes, why it's not opening? They're still not able to resolve the technical issue. Ankush, they are working on it. That's what I can say. Yeah, technical issue still remains. Um, they should resolve it as soon as possible. People are working on it. Um, right. And about the essay classes, I don't know. I don't have much to say. I can only tell you that maybe you can listen to the recorded classes of essay. That's what I would say. Okay, Ankush, they're working on it. So let me start today's session. Yesterday, we completed the art and architecture of ancient India, and then we began with medieval India, Indo-Islamic architecture. Indo-Islamic architecture, we can study this under three phases. The first phase from the 11th to the 14th century, that is the work of the monuments of early Turkish and Afghan rulers. So 11th to the 14th century. Then I told you 1316 to 1526 is the second phase, the provincial style. The provincial style, basically, it starts from the death of Alauddin Khilji. Alauddin Khilji died in 1316. Therefore, the central authority became weak after his death. And in many of the provinces, we have independent sultanates which were born, independent kingdoms ruled by Muslim rulers or sultans. So, for example, in Bengal, in Gujarat, Malwa, Jaunpur, Kashmir, the Deccan, etc. So, in all these provinces, we have uh, different styles of architecture, art and architecture, which were born. That's why it's called provincial style. And then, of course, the third phase is from the Mughal period onwards, 1526 onwards, till the end of the Mughal rule. Um, Here, Muslim architecture is divided into two parts. We have religious and secular. Under religious, we have masjids or mosques and tomb or maqbara. And then, of course, secular would be the fortresses, city gates, palaces, houses, etc. So this is the broad division of Islamic architecture, Indo-Islamic architecture as such. Um, so let me continue today. We were discussing the slave rulers, and I told you yesterday that the Muslims introduced certain novel architectural features. Like, for example, they reintroduced the arch as a design was known to the ancient Indians, but it had been forgotten. So the Muslims introduced the arcuate method, that is a combination of arch and dome, which was pleasingly combined with the slab and the beam method. Indians knew about slab and beam method. So arcuate and trabeate came into existence. It was mixed in a pleasing manner. They used superior mortar or cementing material, superior binding medium or material like a cement, which would bind the stones or the bricks to very, very strongly. They used jali, that is perforated windows. They used calligraphy, that is important verses from the Holy Quran were inscribed on their buildings. That's called calligraphy. It is in Arabic language. They used Pitradura. Of course, the Mughals used Pitradura. What's Pitradura? I'll come to that in some time. Arabesque. So that was, you have, the foliage of plants with the stems, and then subsidiary stems going all around the building. So I have drawn it yesterday. I've shown you what's an arabesque. I'll show you the picture later when I come to Mughal period. So these are some of the innovations introduced by the Mughals. They also use scientific formulae. The Muslim architects were ready for experimentation, unlike the Hindu architects, who strictly adhere to the Vastu Shastra principles. So Hindu architects in their buildings did not try to experiment, whereas the Muslims were ready for experimentation. So initially, I told you it was a mix. The initial monuments built by the Turks following the establishment of the Delhi Sultanate. Basically, it was a mixture of Hindu and Islamic elements. The buildings were Islamic, but the masons who had worked on those buildings were Hindus. Therefore, you have a corbelled arch which was made. You have a lotus or a kalash which was shown on top of their mosques, because you have the Hindu mason who worked on building that mosque or that Muslim monument. Later, once the Muslims consolidated their position, they consolidated themselves here, they began to build independent structures. Initially, we see destruction or alteration to many Hindu and Jain temples. It was mostly destruction, which we see throughout North India in the initial stages, because the Muslim rulers had to adhere to the rules of the religion. They had to pray 5 times in a day, and once in a week on a Friday, go to the mosque and pray. So to follow the tenets of the religion or the rules of the religion, they did this because they did not come here with architects, engineers, masons. They came to loot and plunder and to conquer areas. They did not come with architects and engineers. That's why they made use of Hindu masons and engineers. Right. So we have discussed yesterday about the slave, the important structures during the slave time, the slave rule. Of course, I have given you the cross section of a mosque or a masjid. Today, I forgot to bring the book. I told you that I'll make a drawing of the tomb. Tomorrow I'll do it. I'm very sorry for that. In the last moment, I forgot. Please excuse me. So I'll draw the tomb, a cross section of a tomb tomorrow. And a tomb here would be not an ordinary Muslim tomb, but the tomb of a emperor or a Sufi saint. Like, for example, the Taj Mahal, or for that matter, the tomb of Akbar, etc. So what are the different parts of a Muslim tomb? I will draw it tomorrow. I'm sorry for that. That is next class on Monday, right? Um, so yeah, Garima, that's what the PPTs are not uploading. The team is working on it. That is right across all the subjects, not just art and culture, other subjects also, I believe. They are working on it. Please have your patience. Don't lose patience. Just hold on. They will do it as soon as possible. They're working on it. Okay, right. So the tome, I'll draw the cross section of a tome tomorrow. The different parts of a tome. Okay, right. So yesterday we looked at the important monuments built by the slave rulers. The Quwwatul Islam Mosque, which is the first mosque built in North India. It was built by Qutbuddin Aibak. Then, of course, the Adai Din Ka Jhopra at Ajmer, again a mosque which was supposedly built in 2.5 days. Then we have the Qutub Minar, which was the foundation was laid by Qutbuddin Aibak. It was in honor of the Sufi saint, the Chishti Sufi saint Khwaja Qutbuddin Bakhtiar Kaki, who was a contemporary of Qutbuddin Aibak. It was completed by Iltutmish, and later the fifth story was added by Firuz Shah Tughlaq. This is the tallest stone tower in India. It is 73 meters in height. And the original purpose of the Qutub Minar was for the Muezzin or the Maulvi to call the faithful to prayer. Later, it was converted into a victory tower or a Jayastamba. So that's about Qutub Minar. I've discussed about Adai Din Ka Jhopra. Then, of course, um, um, the tomb of Sultan Gari, which is the tomb of Prince Nasruddin Mahmud, who was one of the sons of Iltutmish. So this is the first example of a monumental tomb. The first example of a monumental tomb in India, the tomb of Sultan Gari, and Balban's tomb, which displays a Wassoid arch. This is a Wassoid arch. So this is basically a Roman design. Romans used to build their arches like this. So Balban's tomb displays a Wassoid arch. So then we came to Khalji's. The Khalji style is called Seljuk style of architecture. Seljuk style of architecture. They use red sandstone as a building medium, red sandstone. Alauddin Khalji founded the city of Siri. This is the second city of Delhi out of the 7 cities. The second city was founded by Alauddin Khalji. Then he also planned a tower twice the height of the Qutub Minar, but then he could not see its completion. Only the first story was built, and the first story itself is 70 feet in height. Then, of course, the Alai Darwaza, the entrance gateway to the Qutub complex, which has a horseshoe keel arch. So if we've seen this is a horseshoe keel arch in the Alai Darwaza. The Jamaat Khana Masjid in Delhi also belongs to the Khalji period. Then, of course, the Dargah of Nizamuddin Aulia at Delhi, which houses the tombs of Amir Khusro, the parrot of India, and of course Jahanara Begum, the eldest daughter of Shah Jahan, who took care of him in his last years. So this is where I stopped yesterday. Can I continue? Yeah, can I continue, all of you? So, so thank you. So just have some patience. Whatever problems you're encountering, the team is working to resolve that as soon as possible. So just try to focus on the class now. Today I will hope to finish. I will finish art and architecture today, and then we can go to other topics like Indian dance and then Indian literature. This is what I have planned for today's class. And then next week, that is from Monday onwards, I will do the rest of the syllabus. The biggest topic is this art and architecture. Then we have another topic called Indian painting. That is slightly bigger compared to the other topics. And then the other topics like Indian music, literature, then Sufi Bhakti movement, philosophy. They're all small topics, but nevertheless important ones. So therefore, I wanted to finish art and architecture today according to my plan. So we will start with Tughlaq architecture, Tughlaq style. What are the important monuments built during the Tughlaq period? What was the unique innovations introduced in architecture by the Tughlaqs? So Tughlaqs, as you all know, out of the 5 dynasties which ruled the Delhi Sultanate, the Tughlaqs ruled for the longest period of time. They ruled for almost 96 years or so. We have Ghiyazuddin Tughlaq, the founder of the Tughlaq dynasty, who founded the city of Tughlaqabad. So this is the third city of Delhi. You can see here, I put a picture of the Tughlaqabad. This is Tughlaqabad Fort built by Ghiyazuddin Tughlaq. So Tughlaqabad is a fortress cum city complex built by Ghiyazuddin Tughlaq. Right, Tughlaq. Now, what we notice in Tughlaq buildings is that they have used grey sandstone. They have used grey sandstone in their buildings. And grey sandstone is very, very hard. Understand this, please. Grey sandstone is very hard. Okay, since it is very hard, it is difficult to make designs on the grey sandstone. Therefore, Tughlaq buildings are plain. They look very plain because it is difficult. It is difficult to make designs on them or embellish them with carvings. So you have tomb had a fort-like appearance. It looks more like a fort. The tombs built by the Tughlaqs. Then they use sloping walls or battar. This is called a battar. You see, this is called a battar, battar or a sloping wall. So sloping walls, if you have a sloping wall like this, it adds to the strength of the building. It makes the building very, very strong. So they used battar or sloping walls in their buildings. Then they use grey sandstone, and therefore the Tughlaq buildings are very plain to look at, plain and simple, uh, plain and simple to look at. Then we have, of course, because I told you minimum decoration is there. Now, please understand, we have Tughlaq, Firuz Tughlaq. Now, Firuz Tughlaq built a number of buildings. He was a great builder, Firuz Tughlaq, the successor of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, the cousin of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Now, what we notice is Firuz Shah Tughlaq's buildings are very, very simple and plain to look at. What is the reason for that? Understand this, please. Firuz Shah Tughlaq's buildings, Firuz Tughlaq. Now, before that, let me talk to you about Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So here, Ghiyazuddin Tughlaq founded the city of Tughlaqabad. So Ghiyazuddin Tughlaq, the founded Tughlaqabad. Third city of Delhi. This is the third city of Delhi, isn't it? The third city of Delhi. Then we have Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Muhammad bin Tughlaq founded the city of Jahanpana. So he founded Jahanpana, which is the fourth city of Delhi. The fourth city of Delhi, Jahanpana, founded by Muhammad bin Tughlaq. And Muhammad bin Tughlaq also shifted the capital from Delhi to Devagiri. So he shifted the capital from Delhi to Devagiri, right? And Devagiri was called Daulatabad. He gave a new name to Devagiri by name Daulatabad, the city of paradise. Daulatabad. Daulat is paradise. Daulatabad here literally translates to the city of paradise. Now he planned a 1,000-pillared palace there, in Daulatabad. He planned to build a 1,000-pillared palace, right? He also planned a fort there. But what remains is whatever was built. He began the construction, but then he changed his mind and later reshifted the capital to Delhi, as you all know. So therefore, whatever remains there at Daulatabad is in a dilapidated condition. It's in a broken up condition or a dilapidated condition, right? Then we have Firuz, who succeeded his cousin, Firuz Shah Tughlaq. Firuz Tughlaq. Now, please understand, Firuz Shah Tughlaq was a great builder. He established the public works department. He established many departments, welfare department, the Diwani Khairat, then the slave department, the Diwani Bandagani, right? And then similarly, the public works department, the PWD department, PWD. He established the public works department, Firuz Shah Tughlaq. Now, what we notice is Firuz's buildings are very plain and simple to look at. He wanted to decorate his buildings, but then his predecessor, that is Muhammad bin Tughlaq, had exhausted the treasury. The treasury had been exhausted by his predecessor Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Why had the treasury been exhausted by Muhammad bin Tughlaq? Two reasons, of course. We have the grand projects of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. grand projects. We have looked at the grand projects of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So that had virtually emptied the treasury. The five grand projects, you all know, the transfer of capital from Delhi to Devagiri, then increased land revenue in the Doab, the introduction of token currency, the Khorasan campaign, and the Karajal expedition. So the grand projects of Muhammad bin Tughlaq had virtually dried up the treasury, isn't it? Dried up the treasury. This is number one. And number two, very interestingly, Muhammad bin Tughlaq had shifted the capital from Delhi to Devagiri. He had shifted the capital. So when he shifted the capital, what happened is we have a number of architects from Delhi, engineers, then the masons, painters. So architects, engineers, masons, painters, etc. They migrated from Delhi to South India, to Devagiri. Of course, Muhammad bin Tughlaq reshifted the capital back to Delhi, but then many of these architects, engineers, masons, painters, etc., did not go back to Delhi. They stayed back in South India. And these architects, engineers, etc., sought employment under the Bahmani sultans. They sought employment under the Bahmani kingdom. Bahmani kingdom was established in 1347 during the time of Muhammad bin Tughlaq by Hassan Gangu. You all know that. So Firuz Shah Tughlaq not only had no money to embellish his buildings, to beautify his buildings, he also could not requisition the services of these experts like engineers, architects, masons, because they were not many found in Delhi. They had all gone away to the south and they had never returned back to Delhi. So therefore, Firuz Shah Tughlaq found it difficult to beautify his buildings. Did you understand? His buildings are very huge, but they are very plain and austere, simple to look at. Did you understand that? Yeah, that was Devagiri was called Daulatabad, Krishna. We have done this, isn't it? Right? So therefore, please understand, in assertion reason questions, or in true or false questions, this explanation matters. This explanation matters. The wide reading which you do, the textbook reading which you do, will help you in answering the tough questions, particularly true and false question, and assertion and reason questions. For you to reason out and find out whether it is both the statements are correct, or one is correct, or one is wrong, or whether they explain each other. For you to do that, you should have the wide reading, which you should have done, right? So, um, uh, so these Firoz Shah buildings are like that. Now we'll come back here. So what are the various buildings built by Firuz Shah Tughlaq? So Firuz founded these cities. What is Dargah? Is it a mosque? I told you, Ankush, yesterday we have discussed this. What is a mosque? Mosque is a prayer. It is like a a prayer, a building where the Muslims go and do their namaz. It's like a temple for the Muslims, right? So that's called a mosque. And Dargah is the tomb of a Sufi saint. Dargah is the tomb of a Sufi saint. Yeah, PWD is Public Works Department, Garima. Okay, now let's move on here. So Firuz Shah Tughlaq built the following cities. He founded he founded four fortress cities. Firuz founded four fortress cities. So what are the four fortress cities founded by Firuz Shah Tughlaq? Number one, he founded Jaunpur in UP. Number one, Fatahabad. Number three, we have Hisar, and Firuzabad, the fifth city of Delhi. Firuzabad is the fifth city of Delhi. Then he also built a number of mosques. Firuz built a number of mosques. He built a number of mosques and tombs, including his own tomb. He also built his own tomb. So, this Firuzabad is now called Firuz Shah Kotla. Firuzabad came to be called Firuz Shah Kotla, right? And this is on the banks of the river Yamuna, as you know. It's on the banks of the river Yamuna. And he also planned, it contained a Jami Masjid there. Inside the Firuzha Kotla or Firuzabad, you have a Jami Masjid, which was supposed to be one of the biggest mosques during the Tughlaq times. Then, I'll use another page here. Firuz built a number of mosques. What are the various mosques built by Firuzha Tughlaq? So, Firuz built the following mosques. So, what are the various mosques? Number one, of course, we have the Kali Masjid. Kali Masjid. Then, number two, the Begumpuri Masjid. Begumpuri Masjid. Number three, Khirki Masjid. Khirki Masjid. Then, number four, the Kaaba Masjid. So these are the various mosques built by him. Then he built his own tomb. Firoz Shah Tughlaq built his own mausoleum. So he built his own mausoleum or tomb, and also that of his prime minister. And also that of his prime minister, Khani Jahan Tilangani. So the prime minister of Firoz Shah Tughlaq was Khani Jahan Tilangani. So he was from Telangana, what we now call Telangana in Andhra. Telangana is a separate state now. So he was from Telangana, who this prime minister of Firoz Shah Tughlaq, his name was Khani Jahan Tilangani. So Firoz Shah Tughlaq built the tomb of also his prime minister, Khani Jahan Tilangani, on a ridge called House Khas. So he built the tomb of his prime minister, Khani Jahan Tilangani, on a ridge called House Khas. In Delhi, obviously, right? And Telangani's tomb is the first octagonal tomb built in Delhi. Telangani's tomb is the first octagonal tomb built in Delhi. Yeah, Firozpur also, you're right. Okay, Ankush, are you able to hear me? Okay, so Telangani's tomb is the first octagonal tomb built in Delhi. Okay, clear? It's the first octagonal tomb built in Delhi. So this is about Firoz Shah Tughlaq, and I've told you what is the reason as to why his buildings look plain and simple. One is because the treasury had dried up because of the courtesy of his predecessor Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So because of his grand projects, the treasury had dried up, and secondly, because of the transfer of capital from Delhi to Devagiri, all architects, engineers, masons, etc., had gone away to South India. So there was dearth of experts in Delhi. I mean, even if Firoz Shah Tughlaq wanted to beautify or embellish his buildings, he did not find any experts to do that because all had gone away to South India. So because of that reason, Firoz Shah Tughlaq's buildings are very simple and plain to look at. Though they are massive, they're very simple and plain to look at. Okay, this is about Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Clear? Okay, now let's move on. We'll come to the Lodhis. Let's go to the Lodhis now. Lodhis. So Lodhis. Now, Sayyids, nothing much to talk about the Sayyids with respect to architecture. They ruled for a very brief period of time, the Sayyids. Then Lodhis. Now, Lodhis built mostly tombs. They built mostly tombs. Now, look here. The Lodhis, they were the first Afghan dynasty, isn't it, to ruled from Delhi. the Lodhis. Now, Lodhis, they build tombs and they place their tombs on big platforms. Okay, so they build their tombs at a height on a big platform. So imagine this: the tomb, right? And then they place it around. They put a garden around it. So they put a garden around it, right? So therefore, since it has been placed at a height, it gives a pleasing skyline. It looks very beautiful. Then what the Lodhis did is, so here please understand, their buildings, their tombs are placed at a height. Then they put a garden around the tomb. Then they use double domes. That is a dome within a dome. You see here, this is a dome within a dome. What's the advantage of a double dome? This is called a double dome. So when you use a double dome, what is the advantage? The advantage is twofold advantage. One is it strengthens the dome. It adds to the strength of the dome. So it strengthens the dome. That is number one. And secondly, it reduces the height of the inner ceiling. Reduces the height of the ceiling. Did you get me that? See, this height is reduced. The height within gets reduced because it has a double dome. And it adds to the strength of the dome as such. Even the Taj Mahal has a double dome. Even the Taj Mahal has a double dome. So the Lodhis mostly built tombs. So you can see here on your screen, you see this is Sikandar Lodhi's tomb. Sikandar Lodhi's tomb was built by Ibrahim Lodhi. Sikandar Lodhi's tomb was built by his son Ibrahim Lodhi. And Ibrahim Lodhi was killed in the Battle of Panipat, first Battle of Panipat by Babur, as you know. So you look here, you have Gujarati and Rajasthani kiosks used. See, these are all kiosks. These are called kiosks. So you have Gujarati, Rajasthani design here. This tomb of Sikandar Lodhi in Delhi has been placed on a pedestal at a height. Then you have a garden around it. You see, beautiful garden landscaping has been done, and there's a garden surrounding the tomb. So therefore, it looks very, very beautiful. It looks very beautiful. So they mostly build tombs, the Lodhis, right? So use of double dome, thick walls were made, enamel tiles showing Persian influence, beautiful colored tiles were used. Then balconies and kiosks which shows Rajasthani and Gujarati influence. Buildings were put on a platform with gardens at the sides. Octagonal shaped tombs became prominent under the Lodhis. It was the first octagonal tomb I have already told you. It is Telangani's tomb. But under the Lodhis, octagonal tombs became pretty common as such, right? Right. This is about. See, you can see here. I have put a picture of a dome within a dome, adding to the strength of the dome. Right. Then we have. Let us look at some important tombs built by the Lodhis. Apart from the Sikandar Lodhi's tomb, what are the important tombs? Important tombs of the Lodhis. So you have Bara Khan ka Gumbad. So these are the various tombs. Number one, Bara Khan का गुंबद. नंबर टू, छोटा खान का गुंबद. नंबर थ्री, पोली का गुंबद. Yeah, they lacked lavish decorations. Yeah, Krishna, they are without decorations. Correct. The domes lacked lavish decorations. And also we have sloping verandas. They have sloping verandas. Sloping verandas and lack lavish decorations. Right. So this is about the Delhi Sultans. Sorry, this is about the Tughlaqs. Now let us, and the Lodhis, of course. Then let us come to provincial style. Let's come to provincial style, right? Provincial style. Gumbad is more of a dome, Ankush. Gumbad is a dome. Basically, it is used in connection with a tomb as such, right? Now, how double dome adds strength? I'm not an architect, Bimre. Don't ask me technical questions. I'm a history teacher, right? So that's what the historians have told us, obviously with evidence and proof from architects, engineers. So that's how it is. Double dome is supposed to add strength to the dome. Yes, Ghulam Mustafa says after studying medieval and ancient, culture is easy. Yeah, that is the reason why it has been structured like that, Ghulam Mustafa. Ancient, medieval, and then art and culture. You'll be able to better relate to the topic. That's why it has been structured. The classes have been planned and structured like that. I really appreciate that you're saying that. Yeah. Okay. Let's move on here. Let us come to the second phase, provincial style. Okay. Let us come to the provincial style. Obviously, Bhimare, the thing is, when you have two domes, the both the domes would have been reinforced. Both the domes would have been reinforced at the place where they have built a dome. So, and they would also be attached next to each other. They would be attached to each other. So it adds to the strength of the dome. That's what I would say, right? I don't know about the echo part. Double dome also have less echo of sound. I don't know about that part, but it is supposed to add to the strength of the dome, right? Okay, now let's move on. Provincial style. Second phase, phase two. Bhimre, are you there with me? Okay, so second phase, we have the provincial style. Provincial style. Now, please take down. Please take down. So, what is this provincial style? Provincial style is from 1316 to 1526. 1316 to 1526, when we have the central authority becoming weak. 1316 is the year when Alauddin Khalji died. Alauddin Khalji died. What happened after that? Central power became weak. The central authority, central government became weak because of that reason. And as a result, in the provinces, we have a number of independent sultanates. Independent sultanates came into existence. Independent sultanates established in the provinces. And therefore, in these provinces, we have a distinct school of architecture which was born. Therefore, it's called provincial style. Now, did you understand? Now, we have a art historian called Herman Gottes. Please take down Herman Gottes. Hermann. Hermann Gottes. Gotez. Herman Gottes has divided the art of the provincial sultanates into three groups. So he's divided the art of the provincial art of provincial sultanates into three groups. right? Number one, we have the Delhi style. Delhi style. So Delhi style is seen in the states of Jaunpur, seen in Jaunpur, then Nagaur and Malwa. Nagaur and Malwa. Seen in Jaunpur, Nagaur and Malwa. The Delhi style. Number two, we have the Hindu style. Hindu style or Hindu tradition, seen in Kashmir, Bengal, and Gujarat. Seen in Bengal, Gujarat, and Kashmir. This is Hindu style. And number three, Deccan style. So this is how Harman Gotes divides the art of the provincial sultanates into Delhi style, Hindu style, and Deccan style. Deccan style, we see this in places like Gulbarga. No, you have the Bahmani kingdom and the splinter states, isn't it? Bahmani kingdom and the splinter states. So Gulbarga, Bidar, then Bijapur, Hyderabad, etc. These are the Deccan style. Okay. So Hermann Gottes divides the art of the provincial sultanates into three groups: Delhi style, Hindu style, and Deccan style. Now let us examine each of these styles. Hello, are you there with me? Let us examine each of these styles. So the main styles are, you can see this is phase two of Indo-Islamic architecture. We have these states: Bengal, Gujarat, Kashmir, Jaunpur, etc. Now, what type of questions has UPSC asked from this section, this part, that is provincial styles? Now, what I have noticed is they have asked mostly the important buildings or monuments which are found in these states. They have not asked about the architecture, the details about the architecture. They have generally asked about which building or which monument is in which place, or and type of material used in that monument. The type of material used, whether it is red sandstone or marble, or which building is found in which state. That's what they've asked. They've not asked beyond that, right? But then anyway, we will make a broad survey of these provincial styles. So first of all, let us come to Bengal. On your screen, hello, are you there with me, all of you? Let's talk about Bengal. So what are the various buildings in Bengal? Where have they been found? Who built important buildings in the province of Bengal, in the Bengal Sultanate? See, I said Gulbarga, Bidar, Bijapur, Hyderabad, Ankush, Gulbarga, Bidar, Bijapur, Hyderabad. Okay, now look here. So let us talk about Bengal. So on your screen, you see we have buildings or monuments in these places in Bengal: Malda, Pandua, Tribeni, Gaur, Vikrampur. So these are the important centers in Bengal where we find monuments built by the Bengal sultans, the sultans who ruled Bengal. So what are the features? Use of black marble, locally available marble, black marble, schist and bricks have been used. Roofs are convex because it's a heavy rainfall area. Bengal is a heavy rainfall area, and therefore they have used convex style, convex shaped roofs. Right now, keep writing, please. So keep writing. So let me point out the important buildings in Bengal, particularly Gaur. So what are the important buildings in Gaur? Gaur, Gaur. So the important buildings in Gaur are Dakhil Darwaza. So this is located in Gaur in Bengal, Dakhil Darwaza. Dakhil Darwaza. Also known as Salami Gateway. Salami Gateway. Dakhil Darwaza, also known as Salami Gateway. Right? Um, So this was built in the 15th century, middle of the 15th century. Date is 14. You don't need to remember the dates. Don't worry about it. Don't need to remember the date, but I'm giving it in the context. So don't worry about the dates. So it was built in the middle of the 15th century. Dakil Darwaza at Gaur. Then we also have, I'm only giving you the most important monuments. There are others, but then I'm giving you the most important monuments. Try to remember them. Please revise. So then we have Chota Sona Masjid, Bara Sona Masjid. So Dakil Darwaza is one. That is what Gaur. This is the first building. Second is Chota Sona Masjid. Chota Sona Masjid. And number 3, Bara Sona Masjid. These are the important buildings. I have no idea, Ankush, about what you're asking me. Bengal Nawab buildings like Hazar Duari. I have no idea because I've never been to Bengal. But whatever is there in the history books, art and culture books, you remember that much, right? Unless it's very, very important. Tell me many buildings, I'm sure, many more, many buildings. But this is what has been highlighted in the art and culture books, and that's what I'm discussing. Okay, Ankush, if you're from that area, I'm sure you'll be knowing more about more names of these buildings in Bengal. But then we'll be discussing only the most important ones. I have not come across whatever you call Hazar Duari in the books I've read, Ankush. So please excuse me for that. Okay, then we have buildings in Pandua. So what are the buildings? So I have discussed about buildings in Gaur. Then what about buildings in Pandua? Pandua. So what are the important buildings in Pandua? Again in Bengal. First of all, we have the Adina Masjid. Adina Masjid. Number 1, Adina Masjid. Adina Masjid. This is probably the largest Islamic building in India. This was built by Sikandar Shah, King Sikandar Shah. Built by Sikandar Shah. So he ruled in the 14th century, Sikandar Shah, 1358 to 89, right? And this is probably the largest Muslim building in India, the Adina Masjid. It has 400 domes. This Adina Masjid has 400 domes. Has 400 domes. This is the largest Muslim building in India. Largest Muslim building. So such things you need to remember, please, important ones. Largest Muslim building in India. And of course, whatever is there in the current affairs. If you make a survey of the last 1.5 years of current affairs, whatever place is there in the news or whatever monument is in the news, that becomes relevant. All right. Then, apart from the conventional history, which we are discussing now, you need to know, keep a track of current affairs. If something is there in the current affairs, that becomes important. Okay. So supplement that with your thorough reading of current affairs. History section, art and culture section. Okay, fine. Thank you, Sumo. Thank you for that. Okay, so it has 400 domes, largest Muslim building in India, Adina Masjid. Then, of course, we have the Ek Laki Tomb. So this is one, Adina Masjid at Pandua. Then we have the Ek Laki Tomb. Ek Lakhi Masjid. Ek Lakhi Masjid. Number 3, Ek Laki Tomb. Ek Laki Tomb also. So these are the important buildings in Bengal, okay, at Pandua and Gaur. So most of the buildings are located at Gaur and Pandua. We have discussed this. Adina Masjid, Ek Laki Masjid, and Ek Laki Tomb in Pandua. So this is about Bengal. Okay, this is about Bengal. So we've discussed about Bengal, right? Can we move on? Then we come to Gujarat. So what are the important buildings in Gujarat? So here we have, so many of Hindu and Jain temples were altered to suit Islamic worship, Islamic, you know, it was altered, in Gujarat. So tradition of temple architecture was carried on, use of limestone carvings, geometrical designs, decorated buttresses. We have the use of decorated buttresses. What is buttress? I mentioned it here. You can see it's a structure of stone or brick built against a wall to strengthen or support it. This is called a buttress. So there's a reinforcement. You see here, this is a reinforcement to the building. That's called a buttress. So in Gujarat, we see this decorated buttresses. Now, what are the important buildings in Gujarat? Let's look at it. Important buildings in Gujarat. Gujarat, right? So what are the important buildings? First of all, we have, so most important ones I'm giving you. The city of Ahmedabad. So Ahmedabad, the city of Ahmedabad, it was founded in 1411. Founded in 1411 by Ahmad Shah. Ahmad Shah the first. So Ahmad Shah the first founded the city. This is number one, Ahmad Shah. Right? Then, of course, Ahmad Shah also built the Teen Darwaza. So this is Ahmedabad. Then number two is the Teen Darwaza. Teen Darwaza. Teen Darwaza or Triple Gateway. It's also called Triple Gateway in English. This is 37 feet in height. 37 feet height. This was built by again Ahmad Shah. Built by Ahmad Shah the first. Teen Darwaza or Triple Gateway at Ahmedabad. Where is this Teen Darwaza? It is at Ahmedabad. Forgot to mention that it is in Ahmedabad. Located in Ahmedabad. Then we have this king called Mahmud Begara. Mahmud Begara. You study about him in modern India, isn't it? Mahmud Begara. He had a scuffle with the Portuguese and he died. He was thrown off the ship by the Portuguese. He had gone to have a meeting with them. He was known for his voracious appetite. He lived in the 15th century, 1459 to 1511. Mahmud Begara. So this Mahmud Begara, the king of Gujarat, he founded these cities. He founded the cities founded three cities, founded these three cities, Champaner. So he founded Champaner, then Junagadh, and Kheda. So these are the three cities founded by him. Then, of course, we have a number of vows or baulis built in Gujarat. Because of water scarcity in Gujarat, in various parts of Gujarat, a number of vows or baulis were built. That is step wells. A number of step wells were built in Gujarat. We have seen Rani Ki Vav. We have seen when I did built by Udayamati, the queen of Bhima the first, who ran away when Mahmud of Ghazni attacked Somnath. So his wife or queen Udayamati built Rani Ki Vav in Gujarat. So we have a number of vows or baulis or step wells found in Gujarat. This is part of secular architecture. So the best example of Vav is Hari Bai Vav at Ahmedabad. by Harivav. By Harivav. Found in Ahmedabad. And then we have another one at Adlaj. Wow, at a place called Adlaj near Ahmedabad. Near Ahmedabad. So these are the important buildings in Gujarat. Okay. Good Ghulam Mustafa. I'm sure you must have seen Teen Darwaza and you know and these vows there by Hari Vav. Okay. So this is about Gujarat. Then we move on. Malwa. Malwa, you can see here on your screen. You have buildings located in Mandu, Dhar, and Chanderi. Mandu, Dhar, and Chanderi. Malwa. So we have domes on high drums. So domes are on high drums. Absence of minarets in mosques. So in the mosque you don't have those in the minarets or minars on the four corners of a mosque. You have a minar like in Taj Mahal, which is of course a tomb. You have four minars in the four corners. In the mosque also you have minarets. That is missing in Malwa. Use of ogival arches. What is ogival arch? I put a picture here. You can see. This is called an ogival arch. Ogival arch rather. Ogival arch. And then, of course, you have fine jali work. So, fine jali. Jali is what? Perforated window. Window with holes. Perforated windows. So, this is for air and light. Perforated window. Ogival arch. Right? This is what is in Malwa. So, let us look at important buildings in Malwa. What are the places? Mandu, Dhar, and Chanderi. Mandu, Dhar, and Chanderi. I'll use another page. So, what are the important buildings as part of Malwa style? Malwa style. You have buildings at Dhar, Mandu, and Chandari. So, what are the buildings at Mandu? Mandu, you have Kamal Maula Masjid. Kamal Maula Masjid at Malwa. Then Lal Masjid. So recently, I think Kamal Maula Masjid, you have the indoor bench of the Madhya Pradesh High Court. I think I had covered this in one of the webinars. We have a temple, which was built by one of the kings. Forget the name. Hindus worship in the temple on Tuesdays. Muslims do their namaz on a Friday. So remember, and the indoor bench of the Madhya Pradesh High Court has ordered for a survey of this particular building. It says, isn't it? So this is the Kamal Maula Masjid. Basically, you have these masjids which were supposedly built on the ruins of Hindu temples. But of course, let us wait for the Archaeological Survey of India report. We'll not look at the other aspects. We'll just focus on whatever we have to cover. Right? The court will take care of the rest of the things. Yeah, so the Mandu we have in Mandu we have Kamal Maula Masjid, Lal Masjid. Then then of course we have Jami Masjid. Jami Masjid in Mandu, built by Sultan Hushang. So Sultan Hushang built the Jami Masjid. Then we have three more monuments. The Jami Masjid at Mandu built by Sultan Hushang. Then we have these monuments, Ashrafi Mahal, Hindola Mahal, and Jahaz Mahal. So these three buildings, Ashrafi Mahal, then Hindola Mahal. Hindola Mahal is called a swinging palace. It has got sloping walls. Hindola Mahal and Jahaz Mahal. Jahaz, as you know, is a ship. So it has been designed like a ship. This particular building. So Ashrafi Mahal, Hindola Mahal, and Jahaz Mahal. These three buildings were built by Sultan Mahmud the First. Sultan Mahmud the First. He ruled in the 15th century, 1436 to 69. 1436 to 69. So these are the buildings at Mandu, important buildings at Mandu. Then we have, of course, buildings at Nagaur. This is in Rajasthan. A place called Nagaur in Rajasthan. So what are the important buildings at Nagaur? Tarkini Darwaza. And Shams Masjid. This is in Nagaur. Yeah, Bhojashala complex. You're right, Krishna. I did not get that name. Bhojashala. You're right. Sudhanshu is also right. Bhojashala. Right. So these are important buildings in Malwa. Right. Then we come to Kashmir. On your screen, you see here. So we have discussed Malwa. Important buildings in these places. Mandu, and mostly it is in Mandu. Right. Then we come to Kashmir. So you see here, we have wooden architecture. So wood is used here in Kashmir, wooden architecture. Then Hindu temples converted to mosques. They show Buddhist influence. And we have a pyramidal roof crowned with a long, slender spire, as in the Kankasha Mosque. So this is the picture of the Kankasha Mosque in Srinagar. Kankasha Mosque, also called Kanka Mullah. So the main thing is wooden architecture. It shows Buddhist influence. Mostly, it is made of mostly wood. And pyramidal roof crowned with long, slender spire. So this is Kashmir. Nothing much about Kashmir. Then we come to Jaunpur. We have the use of arcade trabeate system, that is both arch and dome and slab and beam method. Both have been pleasingly combined. As you can see here, you have both. Arcade is what? Arch and dome. Arcade. Trabeate is slab and beam method, right? So this has been beautifully combined. Propylon screen. What's a propylon screen? Basically, it is the entrance to a grand monument. That's called a propylon screen. I've given the definition here. Propylon is basically a massive entrance to a grand monument. In Islamic buildings, this is usually arched. So generally, it is an arch. In Islamic buildings, it is an arch, a grand monument, a grand entrance to a big monument. That's called propylon as such. What is the best example of Jaunpur architecture? You have absence of minarets. Example, Atala Devi Mosque. So this is the picture of the Atala Mosque in Jaunpur. Basically, this was a temple of goddess Atala Devi converted into a mosque. So here, please understand. Take down, please. So this is the Atala Devi Mosque. Atala Devi temple converted into a mosque. Converted into a mosque. And when was this done? This was done in 1408, in the year 1408. So this is the Atala Mosque in Jaunpur. It's in Jaunpur, UP, Uttar Pradesh. Then we come to Khandesh or Faruqi. Khandesh or Faruqi, we have buildings at Thalner and Burhanpur. Then we come to Deccan. Deccan basically is a mixture of Persian and Delhi styles. Understand this? Deccan, please take down. Deccan style is basically a fusion. It's a fusion of a mixture of Persian style and Delhi style. So let me explain this. Now, what is the meaning of this? It is a mixture of or a fusion of Persian style and Delhi style in the Deccan. Now, how did this happen? Now, look here. Persian style, you see, who was the founder of the Bahmani Empire, kingdom? Who founded the Bahmani kingdom? In 1347, Hassan Gangu. Understand this? The Bahmani kingdom was founded by Hassan Gangu. It was founded by Hassan Gangu during the period of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. And who was Hassan Gangu? Hassan Gangu was an adventurer from West Asia. He was an adventurer from West Asia. And destiny willed that he comes to South India and he founds a kingdom. And he took the title of Abdul Muzaffar Alauddin Bahman Shah, and thus established the Bahmani kingdom. Now, though he was originally from West Asia, he, even after coming to India, even after becoming the Sultan, he kept in touch with his homeland. So when he became the Sultan, many architects, engineers began to come from West Asia, and they sought employment in the Bahmani kingdom. So they brought the Persian style along with them. Into the Deccan. Then, did you understand? That is number one. Number two is we have the transfer of capital by Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Muhammad bin Tughlaq transferred the capital from Delhi to Devagiri, which was renamed Daulatabad. So when he transferred the capital from Delhi to Devagiri, a number of architects, engineers, etc., they also came away from Delhi to South India. And I told you, Muhammad bin Tughlaq reshifted the capital back to Delhi after 6 years. But then these architects, engineers who were trained in the Delhi style of architecture never went back to North India. They stayed back in the south and they sought employment under the Bahmani Sultan. So you have a beautiful fusion of Persian style and Delhi style in the Deccan. Did you understand? That's how you have Persian style and Delhi style fusing. Can you raise your hands? Do you understand? So Deccan style is a fusion of Persian style and Delhi style. Keep that in mind, please. Okay? Great. Have you written down that? You'll forget such things. Please write down. Don't rely on your memory. Memory dhoka deti hai. No, don't rely on memory. Please write down. Okay, good. So it's a fusion of Persian style and Delhi style, and I have told you how it happened. Okay, now let us good. Now let us look at the features. Important buildings in the Deccan. We have influence of Hindu, Persian, and Malwa styles. Bulbous dome. It's like a bulb. Like a bulb. You have a bulb, 40 candle bulb, or not the LED bulb, the ordinary bulb, the yellow color bulb, right? So yellow light bulb, ordinary bulb. So bulbous dome. It's like a bulb with lotus neck. Like for example, Gol Gumbas, military architecture. So it's very plain, nothing much. It's huge in size, but plain. That's called military architecture. Typically Tughlaq style, without any embellishments. Then thick walls, use of thick walls, flat dome, use of squinch system. Squinch is like a, uh, uh, something like a chajja, squinch. Then combination of mosque and gateway, for example, Charminar. So what are the important buildings you see here on your screen? Gol Gumbas. So this is Gol Gumbas. We have discussed this. Gol Gumbas. This is the tomb of Muhammad Adil Shah, located at Bijapur. It has got the world's second largest dome in the world. The biggest dome is, of course, that of the Saint Peter's Basilica at Vatican City, Rome, the headquarters of the Pope, who is the head of the Roman Catholic Church. So the Gol Gumbaz has the second largest dome in the world. It is famous for the Whispering Gallery. So you have echo there when inside the gallery. When you say something, it echoes. That's why it's called Whispering Gallery. Then Ibrahim Rauza at Bijapur. That among the monuments built by the Adil Shahis of Bijapur, this is the most beautiful, according to Henry Cousins. So Ibrahim Rauza, you can see here on your screen. This is supposed to look like the Taj Mahal. Don't go by the color of it. Obviously the color has gone off. But then this was designed by an architect from Ethiopia, a eunuch. He was a Ethiopian eunuch. This architect called Malik Sandal. So Malik Sandal was the one who designed this Ibrahim Rauza. And Ibrahim Rauza is supposed to be the most beautiful monument built by the Adil Shahis of Bijapur. Most beautiful monument. It is not the Gol Gumbaz, it is the Ibrahim Rauza, which is the tomb of Ibrahim Adil Shah II. Built by the Adil Shahis. Then, of course, we have the Qutub Shahi dynasty founded by Quli Qutubul Mulk. He also built the Golconda Fort. The Golconda Fort, outskirts of Hyderabad, about 30 kilometers away from the main city of Hyderabad, we have this Golconda Fort, one of the biggest forts in India, very beautiful fort built by Quli Qutubul Mulk. Then Ibrahim Qutub Shah built the Hussain Sagar and the Ibrahim Patnam tanks at Hyderabad. Ibrahim Qutub Shah. So Hussain Sagar Lake is the lake which separates the twin cities of Hyderabad from Sikandrabad. So you have a lake which separates these two cities, and you have a main road which connects these two cities. So that is the Hussain Sagar Lake, which is off that main road, built by Ibrahim Qutub Shah. Then Muhammad Quli Qutub Shah built the city of Hyderabad after a girl called Bhagyamati. So initially Hyderabad was called Bhagya Nagar after Bhagyamati, and later it was called Hyderabad. He also built Charminar. So Charminar, basically there are different opinions as regards why the Charminar was built. The most acceptable opinion is that I believe there was a plague. There was a plague going on, and the Sultan Muhammad Quli Qutub Shah took a vow before the God Allah that if the plague goes away, then he will build a monument to commemorate the ending of the plague. So that's why he built the Charminar in 1591-92. It was built, but you have a French archaeologist historian. He says that it was built to commemorate the ending of the Islamic millennium. So the Islamic millennium was supposed to end around that time, and that's why the Charminar was built. So we have a few versions regarding why the Charminar was built, but mostly because the plague went away. And to commemorate the ending of the plague, Muhammad Quli Qutub Shah built the Charminar. And of course, Muhammad Qutub Shah laid the foundation of the Makkah Masjid. It was completed by Aurangzeb, the Makkah Masjid. So many years back, so this is a Charminar, very beautiful monument in Hyderabad city, old city of Hyderabad. And this is the Makkah Masjid, which was completed by Aurangzeb. Right. So this is about, Deccan, what do you call provincial style. Right. This is about provincial style. Now let us come to the Mughals. Let's come to the Mughals. Any doubts here? So here, Mughals, as you all know, the Mughals ruled from the great Mughals. Mughals, the great Mughals ruled from 1526 to 1707. The great Mughals, 1526 to 1707. And you know each of these rulers. Babur, we have discussed them in detail. Babur, Humayun, Akbar, then Jahangir, then Shah Jahan, and Aurangzeb. Now, Babur, he fought 4 battles in 4 years. We know, you all know that first battle of Panipat, the battle of Khanwa, battle of Chanderi and Ghagra. So he had no time. Babur had no time for building anything. But then with whatever time he got, he built 4 mosques. We'll talk about it. He built 4 mosques. And one mosque became controversial and was demolished, the Babri Masjid at Ayodhya. Then Humayun. So he had a very tumultuous life. You know that. He lost the throne empire built by his father, and he lived as an exile in Persia. And after many years, he comes back and reconquers Delhi and re-establishes the Mughal Empire. So Humayun did not build much, except that he built the city of Deenpana. Deenpana, the sixth city of Delhi. The sixth city of Delhi was built by him, Deenpana. And when Humayun died, his tomb was built by his favorite wife, the mother of Akbar, Hamida Banu Begum. So this is the Humayun's tomb. Humayun's tomb in Delhi. Humayun's tomb. This is where the Mughal architecture begins from. Mughal architecture begins from here. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. We'll come to that in some time. Then Akbar. Akbar, he was a great builder. He founded the city of Fatehpur Sikri. He built a number of palaces for his Rajput queens and, of course, Muslim queens. He built the Buland Darwaza, the tallest gateway in the world. Even now, it's the tallest gateway in the world, the Buland Darwaza. Then he built the Agra fort, the forts in Allahabad, Lahore. They were all built by Akbar. So they were grand monuments. You have Gujarati and Rajasthani architecture seen in Akbar's buildings, because that shows his tolerant attitude, syncretic culture. Akbar. Jahangir was more of a painter, as you all know. He was more of a painter. But then his favorite queen, Noor Jahan, built a tomb for her father, Itimaduddaulah. This is the first Mughal building built entirely of marble. The Itimaduddaulah tomb at Agra, entirely of marble and use of Pitradura. We'll talk about it. Then Shah Jahan, the best among the Mughal builders. The peak of Mughal architecture is under Shah Jahan. He was a great builder, and the best monument he built is, of course, the Taj Mahal. The Taj Mahal. Then the Jama Masjid in Delhi, the Jama Masjid, which is the biggest mosque in India, which can house 30,000 devotees at a time for namaz. 30,000 people can do namaz at a time in the ground inside the Jama Masjid. It's the biggest mosque in India, built by Shah Jahan. Then, of course, the Moti Masjid, the marble mosque, which he built in Agra. The Red Fort, the Lal Killa at Delhi, which he spent about 1 crore to build the Lal Killa. And inside the Lal Killa, the Red Fort, we have a palace. Okay, a palace. So it was a fortress cum palace complex, the Red Fort. Then he founded the city of Shah Jahanabad. Then Aurangzeb, peculiar fellow, you know how he was. He considered it as a waste of money, to build buildings. But anyway, he did not spend money on beautifying buildings. But Aurangzeb built 2 mosques. One is the Badshahi Mosque at Lahore, a very beautiful mosque in Lahore called the Badshahi Mosque. And within the Red Fort in Delhi, he built one mosque, the Pearl Mosque, the Moti Masjid, inside the Red Fort for his personal worship. So this is about Mughals. We'll talk about it on your screen. See here on your screen, Babur. So he's supposed to have criticized Indian art and architecture. Babur invited Sinan. So he was an Albanian architect. Sinan was an Albanian architect. He was from Albania. So he was an Albanian architect. He invited Sinan to come to India. And he also employed Indian masons. Then he built a few mosques at Panipat, Rohilkhand, Agra, and Ayodhya. And the mosque at Ayodhya was later broken up. It became controversial. The Babri Masjid. So I put the picture here. You can see this is the Kabuli Bagh Mosque in Panipat, built by Babur. This is the Babri Masjid, which was demolished. And later a temple has been built in the same premises. right? And this is the Fatehabad Mosque built by Humayun. So we'll come back here. So Babur built mosques. Then Humayun. Humayun built one mosque at Fatehabad in Punjab. And then when he died, after 8 years, when Humayun died after 8 years, Hamida Banu Begum built a mosque tomb for him. Hamida Banu Begum. Built a tomb for her husband Humayun. So this is in Delhi, Humayun's tomb. So I'll just come back. So you see here, this is Humayun's tomb. So the main material is red sandstone. It is built of red sandstone, and of course, they have used black and white marble to beautify the building. This is the first example of a Mughal tomb garden. This is the first example of a Mughal tomb garden. So you have a garden around around Humayun's tomb. The dome is marble, as you can see. The dome is marble. The rest of the building is made of red sandstone. So you're running what charbagh sort of garden. All is seen in this. And when Barack Obama, when he became the president of America, Barack Obama, he visited India. And he did not go to Taj Mahal. Generally, people, when they come to India, these dignitaries, VIPs, they go running to Taj Mahal and to see the Taj Mahal. But he did not go to the Taj Mahal. He went in Agra. He went to the Humayun's tomb. And a lot of articles came at around that time as to why he visited the Humayun's tomb. Here, this is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Humayun's tomb is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. UNESCO site, and Mughal architecture begins from here. Mughal architecture begins from this particular monument. The Humayun's tomb was built entirely by Central Asian masons and architects. So it was designed by Central Asian, and the masons were also from there, from Central Asia. It was not done by Indians, Indian masons and Indian architects. So this is the first real Mughal style Humayun's tomb. Ground plan is Indian. Persian tiles, white marble have been used. First of the Mughal scheme of tomb gardens, built by Hamida Banu Begum. And double dome is also there. And it is considered to be the precursor of the Taj Mahal. It is considered to be the precursor of the Taj Mahal. Many of the design elements of the Taj have been copied from Humayun's tomb. Okay, so this is Humayun's tomb. Then Akbar. So Humayun's tomb, just hold on. It was um, the construction began in 1564. So Humayun's tomb construction began in 1564. And the architect was a Persian architect, Malik Mirza Ghias. Architect of the Humayun's tomb, a Persian architect called Malik Mirza Ghias. So he was from Persia, Iran. Right? So the dome is marble, entire building is in red sandstone, and they've also used black and white marble to beautify the building. And also have gardens around the dome. Okay, then we come to Akbar. Now, Akbar, obviously, we have to pause a little bit and then discuss in detail. Akbar was a great builder, of course, not only a great conqueror, but also a great builder. And since he had many Rajput queens, they had a very positive influence on Akbar. So we see Gujarati and Rajasthani architecture in his buildings. Therefore, architecture was nationalist in character. He combined, uh, Hindu and Gujarati Rajasthani elements also in his buildings. So his building activity is seen in Agra, Fatehpur Sikri, Lahore. He built the Agra fort. So you see here, Agra fort. This is the Agra fort built by Akbar. It is in red sandstone, built of red sandstone. So you see, inside the Agra fort, there were a number of buildings. Please understand this part. Inside the Agra fort, there were a number of monuments, buildings built by Akbar. Shah Jahan, uh, who came later, he got it demolished. All those buildings, except two, were demolished by Shah Jahan. Why? Because he was a lover of marble, whereas Akbar had built his buildings in red sandstone. And Shah Jahan did not like red sandstone. So he ordered the demolition of these buildings. And only two remain. Inside the Agra fort, only two remain. Two built by Akbar remain. One is the Jahangiri Mahal. You can see here, Jahangiri Mahal and the Akbari Mahal. And Akbari Mahal. These are the only two buildings which remain inside the Agra fort. The rest of the buildings were all demolished by Shah Jahan, and he built, other buildings. So, what are the important buildings built inside the Agra fort by Shah Jahan? Like, for example, we have the Moti Masjid. So, Moti Masjid. It's not Moti Masjid, it is Moti Masjid. So, be very careful when you spell it. English is a funny language. Moti, M-O-T-I. So, Moti Masjid. Then, Diwan-e-Aam. What is Diwan-e-Aam? This is the hall of public audience. Aam Admi, common man. So, when the emperor wants to see the common man, he will come in that hall, and he'll sit where the common people like you and me will congregate. That's called Diwan-e-Aam. What is Diwan-e-Khas? Where Khas people will come, special people. So, for example, in your house, when somebody very close to you comes to your house, what do? You take that person inside, take them to the hall room, or maybe to the kitchen, even to your bedroom, because you're so comfortable with that person, right? Whereas a stranger comes or an acquaintance is not very close to you, you will make him or her sit at the entrance or in the veranda or at the doorstep. You talk to that person and send that person away. So similarly, the Mughals. So somebody important or very close to the emperor, or the emperor held that person in high regard or esteem, that person will be invited into the Diwan-e-Khas. It's like a privilege being given by the emperor to that person, privilege and respect. So Diwan-e-Khas, that is called Diwan-e-Khas. Diwan-e-Khas. Hall of private audience. Diwan-e-Aam is hall of public audience. So that is also there inside the Agra fort. Yeah. And then, of course, inside the Agra fort, Akbar had a harem. Akbar had a harem where 5,000 women used to be kept. 5,000 women were kept inside the harem, inside the Agra fort. Okay. Sudhanshu, what's your question, Sudhanshu? Only women? Yeah, harem, only women were kept. Yeah. So this is the Agra fort, and now, of course, outside the main gate of the Agra fort, we have the statues of Jaimal and Patta. So I have told you, Jaimal and Patta, who fought against Akbar's forces. Rana Uday Singh II was the emperor, was the king at that point in time. So Rana Uday Singh II, along with his family, including young Rana Pratap, were asked to escape from Chittor, and Jaimal and Patta fought against Akbar's forces, and they laid down their life on the battlefield, fighting bravely. And Akbar has a tribute to these brave warriors, ordered the two statues of Jaimal and Patta sitting on black marble elephants with their spears be made and installed outside the main gate of the Agra fort. Of course, the orders of the emperor was carried forward, but then the marble elephants have collapsed. Rather, it has disintegrated and collapsed. And then these are the two remaining statues of Jaimal and Patta. Whatever is remaining, it has been kept outside the Delhi gate of the Red Fort. So Red Fort has two gates, Lahore Gate and Delhi Gate. So outside the Delhi Gate, it has been shifted and kept there. The statues of Rao, Jaimal and Patta. So I have done this. I have discussed this, remember. Then, of course, Akbar built the city of Fatehpur Sikri. Akbar built the city of Fatehpur Sikri about 40 kilometers from Agra. This was a city founded by Akbar in honor of the Sufi saint. I'm asking you a question. Can you answer that? Who was the Sufi saint in whose honor Akbar built the Fatehpur Sikri? Very good. Ghulam Mustafa, Salim Chishti. Why? Because the saint was held in high esteem, and Akbar did not have children for many years, even after marrying many queens. And then the saint blessed him, and he prayed on behalf of Akbar to God Allah, and has a uh, and in return Akbar got many children. The first was Salim. So as a tribute to the saint, he founded the city of Fatehpur Sikri, Sheikh Salim Chishti, in honor of Sheikh Salim Chishti. Now, of course, Akbar abandoned this Fatehpur Sikri because there was water shortage. Because of dearth of water, the city was abandoned after many years. But then Fatehpur Sikri served as the seat of the imperial court. So it served as a seat of the imperial court. So Akbar held the imperial court here. So seat of the imperial court from 1569. So from 1569 till 1584. So almost how many years? 15 years. For 15 years, the imperial darbar or the imperial court of Akbar functioned from Fatehpur Sikri. Interestingly, from 1569 to 1584. And um, so Fatehpur Sikri, please take down, is called frozen moment in history. Fatehpur Sikri is called a frozen moment in history. A frozen moment, in history, has buildings here, blend Hindu and Persian styles. Blend Hindu and Persian styles. So that's why it's called frozen moment in history. Ankush, I have already answered that doubt. I think it is not. It was a tribute to the brave warriors. It was not that he was insulting them. Definitely not. Why would he want to insult them? Why, if he was insulting them, Jaimalan Patta, he wouldn't have ordered them to be installed on elephants. It was an honor being given by Akbar. So those two brave warriors fought in defense of their motherland. And Akbar was also a great imperialist. So he was doing his duty and they were doing theirs. But then he gave a tribute to them. So it's a propaganda, false propaganda. If somebody said he was insulting them, definitely not. Why would he waste money to insult them? Definitely not. That's a wrong interpretation. Okay, so okay. Now, what are the important buildings in Fatehpur Sikri? On your screen, you see here Panch Mahal. So I put pictures here for our convenience. So you see, this is Panch Mahal. This is Panch Mahal in Fatehpur Sikri. Shows influence of Gujarat and Bengal and Gujarat. Pyramidal in shape. It's like a pyramidal in shape. Persian influence is seen in the blue glaze tiles. Then Buland Darwaza at Fatehpur Sikri again. Tallest gateway in the world, Buland Darwaza. So Akbar built the Buland Darwaza in 1601. He built the Buland Darwaza in 1601 to celebrate his victory over Khandesh. Some books say Gujarat, but it actually Khandesh. So please take down, please. Please take down. The Buland Darwaza. This is the tallest gateway in the world. Tallest gateway in the world. What is the height of the Buland Darwaza? It is 177 feet in height. It is 177 feet in height. Built to celebrate, built to commemorate Akbar's victory over Khandesh. This is Khandesh is in northwest Maharashtra. Northwest Maharashtra in 1601. So it's the tallest gateway in the world. It has been built on a ridge. So what is the material used to build the Buland Darwaza? The material used is red sandstone, built of red sandstone and marble. Red sandstone, the main material is red sandstone and marble. So that is the main material used, red sandstone and marble. And please take down, Akbar had the following message. Please take down, Akbar had the following message. Akbar had the following message addressed to all mankind, inscribed on the gateway. So you see, from the New Testament, from the Holy Bible, you have the New Testament of the Holy Bible. Akbar inscribed a few lines on the Buland Darwaza from the New Testament of the Bible. So what are the words inscribed on the Buland Darwaza by Akbar from the New Testament of the Holy Bible? Please take down. Jesus, son of Mary, Jesus, son of Mary, in bracket, on whom be peace, on whom be peace, said, on whom be peace said, what do you mean, Sakshi? Name, frozen movement, and definition does not match. Can you please elaborate? Meanwhile, I continue my class. So, Jesus, son of Mary, said, Sakshi, can you please elaborate? Okay. The world is a bridge. Please take down in quotations. The world is a bridge. The world is a bridge. Semicolon. Pass over it. The world is a bridge. Semicolon. Pass over it. Semicolon. But build no house upon it. I repeat. The world is a bridge. Semicolon. Pass over it. But build no house upon it. But build no house upon it. Semicolon. Who hopes for an hour? Who hopes for an hour? Hour. Who hopes for an hour, comma, hopes for eternity. Hopes for eternity. Full stop. The world is an hour. The world is an hour, Hour. Full stop. Spend it in prayer. Ghulam Mustafa, when it is said frozen moment in history is time stands still. Time stands still when you look at those monuments in Fatehpur Sikri, because they beautifully blend Hindu and Islamic architectural elements. In that sense, it is called frozen moment in history. You understand? That's called frozen moment in history. Okay, I repeat it, Ankush. I'm telling this. The world is a bridge, semicolon, pass over it, semicolon, but build no house upon it, semicolon, who hopes for an hour, comma, hopes for eternity, full stop. The world is an hour, full stop. Spend it in prayer, for what follows is unseen. The world is an hour, full stop. Spend it in prayer, for what follows is unseen. I repeat, Jesus, son of Mary, in brackets, on whom be peace, close the bracket, said, open a quotation, the world is a bridge, pass over it, but build no house upon it. Who hopes for an hour, hopes for eternity. The world is an hour, spend it in prayer, for what follows is unseen. Got it? So this is from the New Testament of the Holy Bible, which Akbar got inscribed on the walls of the Buland Darwaza. Okay. Hari, nothing is mentioned about these lines from the New Testament in Nitin Singhania. This is from other sources, Hari. I wouldn't have obviously made it up, isn't it? This is from other sources. So I'm supplementing your effort from whatever I have read all these years, and I keep reading. So whenever I get something relevant from the exam point of view, something which is not there from unique, I add it to my material. What is the last line not understood? The world is an hour spent in prayer, for what follows is unseen. So he's telling, don't waste your time, keep praying, because what happens after that, we don't know. Persian language, it is in Persian. Okay, it's in Persian language. Then we move on. This is the Buland Darwaza. You can see the tallest gateway in the world. Then tomb of Salim Chishti. It is in white marble, and it's famous for its jali work, marble screen. You can see here. This is Sheikh Salim Chishti's tomb in Fatehpur Sikri, and it is known for its beautiful jali work, white marble. You can see here, jali work. This is jali, perforated windows made of marble. Looks beautiful indeed. Then Mariam's palace. Who is Mariam? Mariam's palace or Golden Palace. Mariam. Who was Mariam? You know who is Mariam. I'm sure all of you know it. Akbar's wife. Very smart, Ankush. I know it's Akbar's wife. Who was she? What is her name? Real name? Salim's mother. Amanpreet says Shah Jahan. Harkabai. That's right. Ankita says special queen. Which is the special queen, Ankita? I was looking for Harkabai, not Jodhabai. Who says? Who? Ankush says Jodhabai Harka. No, there's no Jodhabai Harka. There's only one Harkabai or Jodhabai. Answer is Harkabai, who got the name of Mariam-uz Zamani. This is Jodhabai's palace. Yeah, this is Jodhabai's palace. So Mariam's palace, Jodhabai's palace. Yeah, Chisti is a Sufi order. It's a Sufi order of saints. Chisti, Qadri, Naqshbandi. We'll come to that when you do Sufi Bhakti movement next week. This is Birbal's palace, Mahesh Das or Birbal. Then, so this is about Akbar, right? This is about Akbar. Right. Then we come to Jahangir. Jahangir, you see, he was the one who completed the tomb of Akbar at Sikandra. You see on your screen, this is Akbar's tomb at Sikandra near Agra. So Akbar had already approved the design, but then, and the construction had begun by Akbar himself. Akbar had begun the construction of his own tomb. But then by the time Akbar died, this tomb was still incomplete. Then Jahangir became the emperor, and Jahangir made changes to the original design, which his father had approved. So we see temperamental differences between father and son, because Jahangir changed the design made by his father for his own tomb, So this is at Agra, near Agra, at a place called Sikandra. So it was completed by Jahangir, Akbar's mausoleum. Okay, so Akbar's mausoleum at Sikandra was completed by him. The material uses red sandstone. Then Noor Jahan built a tomb for her father, Itimadud-Dawla. You see, this is Itimadud-Dawla's tomb at Agra, built by Noor Jahan for her father. This is the first Mughal monument built entirely of marble and use of Pitradura. What is Pitradura? I'll tell you. Pitradura is inlaying of marble with precious stones. So this is the first monument of the Mughals. So Noor Jahan built a tomb for her father, Itimadud-Dawla. So first Mughal monument. built entirely of marble. So this was an experiment because in this monument, the Mughals did not use red sandstone. They had been using red sandstone as the main material till now. But Nur Jahan built this building entirely of marble. So first Mughal monument built entirely of marble and use of Pitradura mosaic. Pitradura mosaic, which became pretty common in the Taj. So here, what is Pitradura? I'll draw a picture for you. I'm not an artist, but then this is just to make you understand. You see, if this is a marble piece, imagine this is a marble piece, a piece of marble, right? And let's say the sculptor, what he'll do is he'll make a design like this. Let's say it's a design like this. So he will make a line like this on the marble, and then he'll chip off the marble. So this marble is chipped off. Okay, this chipped off here. It's neatly chipped off in this shape, right? So there's a small groove there. A groove has been cut on the marble, right? And then what will a sculptor do? He will fill up that gap with marble. With precious stones. So he will use different precious stones, emerald, topaz, etc. So precious stones would be filled up in that gap, in that groove, and then it will be polished. So these precious stones become part of the marble. Now that's called Pitardura. Did you understand? Hello? Can you raise your hands? Inlaying technique. I'll show you a picture, a better picture here, which you see on the Taj Mahal. You see, this is a Pitradura on your screen. You see here? This is called Pitradura. See that beautiful design of flowers on the marble. The background is marble on which this design has been made, and they've used different type of stones. During the time of Shah Jahan, even diamond and gold was used in the Taj. So it would glitter in the moonlight or in the sunlight. Of course, you have jewel thieves who have taken it away. Some of the British officers have done that also. Okay, so this is called Pitradura. We see this first in the Itamadullah tomb, built by Nur Jahan for a father. And then, of course, Jahangir's tomb at Lahore was built by Nur Jahan. Jahangir's tomb at Lahore in Pakistan was built by Nur Jahan. Jahangir was more of a garden layer. He laid a number of gardens. For example, the Shalimar Bagh in Kashmir, Dilkusha Garden in Lahore, Pakistan. So that was his pleasure garden. So this is Dilkusha Garden. You see here. So when Jahangir wanted some rest, solitariness, he will roam around in his garden. So he built a number of gardens. One is the Dilkusha Garden or Bagh in Lahore, Pakistan. Then Shahadara. Then of course we have Shalimar Bagh. Shalimar Bagh in Kashmir. Shalimar Bagh. Bagh is a garden, and this is in Kashmir. This was laid by Jahangir. And this is Jahangir's tomb in Shahadara Bagh, Lahore. This is his tomb, as you can see. So this is about Jahangir. Then Shah Jahan. Shah Jahan, the best among the Mughal builders. Peak of Mughal architecture is under him. So peak of Mughal architecture. See, Akbar's buildings are huge. They are massive and original. So they are known for their grandeur. Akbar's buildings. Okay, so they are huge and grand, but then they are not very lavish. Shah Jahan's buildings are huge as well as very, very lavish. So you see, he spent a lot of public money. Whatever money was there in the treasury, he began to spend it on his grand monuments. And the beginning of the decline of the Mughal Empire is from the time of Shah Jahan, because the treasury almost became empty because of his spending lavishly on his buildings. But then you have to give it to Shah Jahan. He was a man of great taste. People are very rich, but then they might not have the taste. He had both. He had the money as well as the taste. So, what are the great buildings built by him? You know it. I don't need to mention it. You have mosque building reaching its climax under Shah Jahan. He built the Moti Masjid. in Agra. It is of marble. Jama Masjid at Delhi. It was designed by Ustad Khalil. So both these mosques, one at Agra and the other at Delhi, the Jama Masjid, were designed by Ustad Khalil. So this is the Moti Masjid in Agra Fort. You can see here, beautiful pearl mosque as it is called, made of marble. Then Jama Masjid in Delhi, the biggest mosque in India, built by Shah Jahan. He spent about 1 lakh to build the Jama Masjid. And let me get that right. Yeah, so yeah, Jama Masjid, he took 10 lakhs. He spent 10 lakhs to those days, 10 lakhs to build it. Those days, rupees 10 lakhs it costed him. And its courtyard measures 100 meters square, 100 meters square, the courtyard, the biggest mosque in India. And the Musamman Burj in the Agra fort, where Shah Jahan spent the last years of his life, right? Then the Red Fort. I'm coming to that, just hold on. So Shah Jahan, right? So at Agra Fort, we have all these buildings built by him. Moti Masjid, Musamman Burj. I told you many of the buildings built by Akbar inside the Agra Fort were demolished by Shah Jahan because he was a lover of marble, not red sandstone. Then other buildings inside the Agra Fort include Diwan-e-Am, Diwan-e-Khas, Khas Mahal, Sheesh Mahal. Then we have the Red Fort. Red Fort, Lal Killa. He spent 1 crore rupees. He spent 1 crore rupees to build the Red Fort. Just hold on. So Shah Jahan shifted the capital from Agra to Delhi in 1638. I'll use another page, fresh page. So please take down. Shah Jahan transferred the capital. Transferred the capital from Agra to Delhi in 1638. Then he built the city of Shah Jahanabad in 1649. Shah Jahanabad, the seventh and the last city of Delhi. Out of the 7 cities of Delhi, Shah Jahanabad. So this was built in 1649. It was completed in 1649, the Shah Jahanabad. Then Lal Killa or Red Fort. Architects were Hamid and Ahmed. So Red Fort. Architects were Hamid and Ahmed. Hamid and Ahmed. So you see the Red Fort, he spent about 1 crore rupees, about 1 crore rupees. Rupees 1 crore. During those days, to build the Red Fort, 1 crore he spent. Then this is inside the Red Fort. We have, of course, marketplaces, servants' quarters, Nobat, that is the royal band, then king's halls, pavilion, palaces. So we also have the Rang Mahal, which was the emperor's private residence. So Rang Mahal. So this is a palace cum fortress complex, Red Fort. So we have the Rang Mahal inside the Red Fort, which was the emperor's private apartment. This was Shah Jahan's private apartment, the Rang Mahal inside the Red Fort. So it was his private apartment. And through the center of this private apartment ran a beautiful canal called Nahar-e-Bihisht. So this was the canal of paradise, Nahar-e-Bihisht, or canal of paradise. Canal, he called it as canal of paradise. So man with great taste, Shah Jahan, Nahar-e-Bihisht. So this was the canal of paradise. So there was a natural canal which flowed in the center of the Rang Mahal, which was the emperor's private apartment. So a lovely taste. And of course, the Red Fort. Then the Taj Mahal. As you know, there's a Taj. Rabindranath Tagore called this has a teardrop in the ocean of existence. Rabindranath Tagore called the Taj has a teardrop in the ocean of existence. A teardrop in the ocean of existence. And you know the story, his favorite queen, Arjuman Banu Begum or Mumtaz, she died while giving birth to her 14th child, and that broke the heart of Shah Jahan, and he ordered the construction of the Taj Mahal. It took 22 years to build this monument, 22 years. The chief architect was Ustad Isa. The chief architect of the Taj was Ustad Isa, assisted by a number of European architects also, a number of Hindu and European architects. So, a number of Hindu and European architects were also responsible for the Taj. So, it was planned on the banks of the river Yamuna. And imagine the foresight of these architects. Understand that they were very knowledgeable people, obviously. So they understood that when this monument is completed, it will be very, very heavy because it is on the banks of the river Yamuna, and that can sink the earth. And if the earth sinks, then it will damage the monument. The monument can also collapse because it was planned on the banks of the river Yamuna. And this is also in a seismic zone. It is in an earthquake prone area. So you have tremors in North India, once in a while. And the earthquake tremors can also damage the structure. So taking all that into consideration, I believe they dug up a pit. That pit almost was 20-story deep. It was a pit which was almost 20-story deep. And then they brought boulders, huge different sizes of boulders were brought both by the river Yamuna on boats as well as on bullock carts and elephants. They dragged those boulders from various parts of the empire, and that huge pit was filled up with rocks of different sizes, rocks and boulders of different sizes, giving it a very firm base. And then the construction began. It took 22 years to build. Makrana marble, pure Makrana marble has been used in the Taj. You have running water, char bagh style of gardens, char bagh style of gardens. That is, you see, this is a garden. Imagine this is the char bagh style of gardens. So if you draw a square like this, so then you have this is called char bagh style of gardens. Your running water. This is called char bagh style of gardens. Char bagh style. Right? Then you see those minarets on the four corners. These are the minarets. They are slightly protruding out. They're slightly protruding out in case there's a earthquake tremor. It should not fall on the main dome. It should fall outwards. So it has been designed like that. So Taj Mahal. And what was the cost? What was the cost of the Taj Mahal? How much money did Shah Jahan spend on the Taj? Rupees 4 crore 11 lakh 48,826 rupees. This is the amount of money he spent on the Taj Mahal. Rupees 4 crore. Those days, now it is priceless. Now it is priceless, but those days he spent 4 crore 11 lakhs 48,826 rupees for the construction of the Taj. Right? Just hold on. I know you want to go for a break. Let me finish off this Mughal architecture. So built on the lines of Humayun's tomb. So many of the design concepts have been copied from Humayun's tomb. Octagonal walls, double dome. This also has got a double dome. Marble, Pitradura has been used, lavishly used. It has a double dome. You have a garden around the Taj. 4 white marble minarets with 4 stories. Octagonal kiosks are there. Okay. So this is the best example. And this is the cenotaph. You see here below, underneath the Taj Mahal, we have the cenotaph. So this is the tomb of of obviously Mumtaz, and this is Shah Jahan. So this is underneath the Taj in the cenotaph. And of course, this is arabesque. I've told you what's the arabesque. I put a picture here. It employs flower, foliage, fruit, or sometimes animals and figural outlines, producing intricate patterns of interlaced lines. That's called arabesque. Then this is Pitradura, locally called Parchinkari, inlaying technique uh, of precious stones, in marble. That's called Pitradura. So all this has been used. Hmm? Right. So and that's not a kalash. That's more of a dhoop, a sakshi. That's probably more for dhoop. What do you call sambrani? What do you call that is dhoop. Dhoop. That's for the attar and the dhoop. This is not kalash, right? Incense, yeah, to burn incense. Okay, okay. You go for your break. Can we go for a 10 minutes break? Can we go for a 10 minutes break so that we come back in 10 minutes? Okay, carry on. I'll complete Mughals. Many people are asking for a break. Sudhanshu Mughal, or with Aurangzeb, I almost finish it. You go for a break and come back. You take a 12 minutes break. 12 minutes break. So we'll meet at exactly 7:12. We'll meet at 7:12. Carry on. 7:12 p.m. Okay, carry on. Nayana Vijay.kumar at the rate of Byju's.com. You're asking mail ID. Okay, carry on. We'll meet after 12 minutes, 12, 13 minutes. Good evening, everyone. Can we continue? Can we continue? Okay. So we have looked at our Shah Jahan. Then let us come to Aurangzeb. Now, Aurangzeb was a person who was very economy minded. He did not want to spend state money on fulfilling his buildings, whatever desires he had. He considered it as a waste of time. So therefore, we call him as economy minded. He considered it as a waste of time and money actually. But then we have Aurangzeb building two mosques. One is in Lahore, present day Pakistan, Lahore, Badshahi Mosque. This is the Badshahi Mosque. You see, very beautiful to look at. The Badshahi Mosque at Lahore, built by Aurangzeb. And then within the Red Fort, he built one mosque in marble for his personal prayers. This is the Moti Masjid, or the marble mosque inside the Red Fort, built by Aurangzeb for his personal prayers. Right? So Moti Masjid inside the Red Fort. Then one of his sons built a tomb for his mother, that is Aurangzeb's wife. This is at Aurangabad in Maharashtra. It's called Bibi Ka Maqbara. It was built by Azam Shah, one of the sons of Aurangzeb. This is in Aurangabad, in memory of his mother, Rabia ud Dorani. And this is called a poor man's Taj. It imitates the Taj Mahal. You see here, this is called Bibi Ka Maqbara in Aurangabad, Maharashtra, built by Azam Shah, Syed Azam Shah, one of the sons of Aurangzeb. So it's very beautiful. We have visited this place, this particular monument. Though it is not as rich as the Taj Mahal, it doesn't look bad at all. So it imitates the Taj. It's called Poor Man's Taj. It's called Poor Man's Taj. Poor Man's Taj. Because locally available material has been used to construct this particular building. Right? Then we come to Bahadur Shah Zafar. Of course, Aurangzeb ordered the demolition of many temples, the Kashi Vishwanath temple, the Keshav temple at Mathura. So all those things we have covered as part of Mughal history. Then we come to the last Mughal emperor, Bahadur Shah Zafar. Bahadur Shah Zafar, who was sent away to Rangoon in Burma or Myanmar after the Sepoy Mutiny. So he was living as an exile there, as a prisoner of the British. And when he was staying there in Myanmar, he ordered the construction of a haveli, or a palace for his favorite queen. So it was built by one of his sons. It is in Delhi, Zinat Mahal Haveli. It's called Zinat Mahal Haveli in Delhi. So this is the Zinat Mahal Haveli, built by Muhammad Azam Shah in Shah Jahanabad, Delhi. Zinat Mahal Haveli. Zinat Mahal Haveli, right? Yeah, right. Then um, then the only 18th century, please take down, the only 18th century building of repute, of note in Delhi, is the mausoleum of Safdarjung, the tomb of Safdarjung, tomb of Safdarjung. Of course, you have Safdarjung Marg in Delhi. So tomb of Safdarjung. So he was the governor of Awadh between 70. So he was 1739 to 54. He was the governor of Awadh. Under Emperor Muhammad Shah. So the tomb of Safdarjung was built by his son Nawab Shujaud-Dawla. Built in 1753 by Nawab Shujaud-Dawla. Uh, at Delhi. So this is the last example of a garden tomb. Tomb of Safdarjung is the last example of a garden tomb. Tomb of Safdarjung, built by his son Nawab Shujauddaulah at Delhi. Right? Then we move on. Then we come to Sikh style. Sikh style, we have in many gurudwaras built by the Sikhs. It was highly influenced by the Mughal style of architecture. What are the features of Sikh style? Use of multiple chhatris or kiosks on the top of the construction. You see here, these are all multiple chhatris. You can see here, these are all called chhatris, multiple chhatris, kiosks. So multiple chhatris or kiosks on the top of the construction. Use of shallow cornices. Cornices mean chajja. Chajja. You know what's a chajja? Hello, all of you? Shallow cornices. What's a chajja? So you see, you have a window, right? You have a window in your house or any building for that matter, and there's a slide there just outside the window. You have one shade, like you have a cap with a sunshade. You have a shade for the window. That's called a cornice or a chajja. Hello, did you get me that? So if this is the window, right? So imagine this is the window. You have something protruding out here. This is called a chajja. Chajja. This is to prevent rainwater coming into your window, coming into your house through the window, or the sun directly falling inside the room. So you have a sunshade. That is called cornice. Then the buildings are fluted domes. Generally covered by brass and copper gilds. Okay, covered by brass and copper gilds, fluted domes. You can see here it's covered by copper and brass, these covers. Then arches are decorated by numerous foliations. So on the arches you have leaf. The leaf design is called. That is called foliations. Leaf design. Garden tombs. Basically, garden tombs. Not Mughal garden architecture. It is garden tombs. Hari. That is the last example of a garden tomb. The tomb of Safdarjung, where you have a garden around a tomb. Charbagh style was used by the Mughals. Charbagh style of gardens. Chajja is a cornice. I have not, it is like a sun. You wear a cap, Ankush. In hot sun, we wear a cap, isn't it? And it's got a shade, so that your eyes are protected, your face is protected to a large extent because of the sun's rays. Like that, outside a window, you have a shade. That's called chajja. Yeah, sunshade. Yeah, sunshade, or you can say rain shade also. Right, that's called. So that these are the examples. These are the features of Sikh style. What are the examples? You have Harmandir Sahib, or the Golden Temple, which was completed by Arjun Dev, the fifth guru of the Sikhs. It was started by Ram Das, the fourth guru, and it was completed by Arjun Dev in 1764. So this is the Harmandir Sahib, or the Golden Temple, the holiest Gurudwara of the Sikhs in Amritsar, Punjab. So you see, if we have the second guru, we'll come to the Sikh gurus when we do Sufi Bhakti movement. We have the second guru, Guru Angad Dev. Guru Angad. And Guru Angad was the adopted son of Guru Nanak Dev. Guru Nanak Dev's own children they were not spiritually inclined. So Guru Nanak Dev adopted a student, and he made him his next successor. and he called him as Angad. Angad means out of my own limbs. Now, this Guru Angad, the second Guru, had some skin problem, skin ailment. And the third Guru was Guru Amardas. So Guru Amardas is supposed to have found a herb in the middle of that lake. You see this, this is called Amrit, this is called Amrit Sarovar. This is called Amrit Sarovar. So in the midst of that lake, the third Guru found a herb which cured the skin ailment of the second Guru. Therefore, the fifth Guru decided to build a Gurudwara in the midst of that lake. The foundation was laid by, of course, Guru Ramdas, the fourth Guru, and it was completed by Guru Arjun Dev, the fifth Guru. The explanation is there on your screen. The explanation is there. It was inaugurated by Guru Arjun Dev, the fifth Guru, who completed the Guru Granth Sahib, the holiest book of the six, and also Miyamir. So Miyamir was a Sufi saint. So true to the pluralistic spirit of Indian culture. So it was inaugurated by Guru Arjun Dev and Miyamir, a Muslim saint, the Golden Temple in 1588. And I have not gone to the Golden Temple till now. I would love to go there, but then I have read quite a few literature about Golden Temple. It has been made at a lower level. The main the way the holy book is kept, where the Guru Granth Sahib is kept, has been made at a lower level. So however big a person is, that person is bound to put his head down. He has to put his head down and come. Therefore, please understand, Sikhism gives a lot of importance to humility. However big a person you are, however rich you are, you're expected to be very humble in Sikhism. If you want to make a donation to the Gurudwara, you come quietly without, and make the donation, and then you quietly walk out. You should not, show off in Sikhism. Otherwise, you'll be punished. So that humility is given a lot of importance in Sikhism. So this is the Harmandir Sahib, right? Then, of course, I have put some pictures here. Gurudwara Bauli Sahib. This is the Samadhi of Guru Angad Dev, the second Guru. This is in Punjab, in Goindwal district, Punjab, built by Guru Amardas, the third Guru. This is Gurudwara Patna Sahib, the birthplace of Guru Gobind Singh Ji, the 10th and the last Guru of the 6th. This Gurudwara was built by Maharaja Ranjit Singh. This is in Bihar, Gurudwara Patna Sahib. Then Gurudwara Hazur Sahib, this is the place where the 10th and the last Guru, Guru Gobind Singh, was assassinated. So this is in Nanded, Maharashtra, Gurudwara Hazur Sahib. Right, this is about Sikh style. Then we come to Rajput style. Rajputs built a number of palaces and forts. For example, we have the Kumbhalgarh fort built by Rana Kumbha, which has the second biggest wall in the world, the second longest wall in the world, 32 kilometers in length, the Kumbhalgarh fort. Built by Rana Kumbha. He also built the Kirti Stambh in Chittorgarh to commemorate his victory over the combined armies of Gujarat and Malwa. The sultans of Gujarat and Malwa combinedly attacked, but then Rana Kumbha was able to defeat them. So he built the Kirti Stambh in Chittorgarh. So I also refer to the last chapter of medieval India, Vijayanagara and regional kingdoms. I have given you quite a lot of information in that also. So please refer to my last chapter of medieval India. So Rajputs built a number of palaces and forts. They introduced hanging balcony, and then cornices were built in the shape of an arch. Cornice is a chajja. So chajja is in the shape of an arch. So when the shadow falls on the ground, it looks like the shape of a bow. It looks like the shape of a bow, the shadow of the chajja. Right? Then we come to modern architecture. Hawa Mahal is in Jaipur. Yes, Krishna. Hawa Mahal is in Jaipur. Yeah, Operation Blue Star was held there. That is true. Okay, so let us come to modern architecture. So we have the coming of the Europeans in the following order. Portuguese were the first to come. Vasco da Gama discovered the Cape route. You study that as part of modern India. So Portuguese, then the second to come to India with the Dutch, then the English came, then the Danes came, Denmark, and lastly French. That is the order in which they came: Portuguese, Dutch, English, Danish, and the French. And why did they come? They came to trade. They came to trade. So therefore, initially they built a number of trading stations, or what is called factories. They built trading stations or factories. So what does a factory look like? So what's a European factory? Europeans built trading stations. Um, Trading station or a factory. So you see, they never became part of India. These foreigners, the Europeans, they remained perpetually Europeans. So they lived in a separate enclave. So they had their own area where they lived. So they built a huge wall initially. They built up a huge wall like this. They built up a huge wall like this, and then they will live there inside. What will be inside? They'll have their offices. So they'll have their offices. Then they'll have their godowns. They'll have the residential quarters. They'll have the residential quarters, and they built up a huge wall. They never mingled with the local people, so they basically came to trade. So they had, that is called a trading station or a factory. Later, the Europeans, instead of a wall, in order to feel more secure, because they started interfering in the internal affairs of Indian rulers, they began to fight wars and battles and wars. So they began to build a fort. Instead of a wall, a huge wall, they built a fort around their settlements. For example, we have the British who built Fort St. George, isn't it? Fort St. George in Chennai. It is the first fort built by the British. This is the first fort built by the British in Chennai. First fort built in India by the British. Similarly, they built Fort William in Calcutta, Satanoti, Kalikata, Govindpur. So they built Fort William there. So you know all that as part of modern India. So the Europeans brought a wealth of architectural styles into India. First of all, let us discuss the Portuguese. What did they build? What is their style called? Their style is called Iberian style. Their style of architecture is called Iberian style of architecture, which we see in present-day Goa. So they introduced patio houses, and Baroque churches. So whatever was the type of building style they were familiar with in Portugal, they introduced the same in India. They did not make any changes in India. Exact replica was introduced in India. And they did not borrow any local or Oriental motifs, Oriental or Eastern styles, Indian styles. So this is Iberian style of architecture. They built trading posts, trading stations or factories, warehouses, and then they later also fortified these towns. So they introduced patio houses. What's a patio? It's an outhouse. You can see here, I put a house with a patio. So you can see the main house is inside. This is the main house. And what you see here is a patio. This is called a patio. Just something like an outhouse, attached to it can be attached or not attached. It is more like a canopy where you can sit a lot of, you can have a separate, out of the main house, you have a patio. You can also have a patio on top of your terrace. In case you have a lot of space, you can have a patio there. So they introduced patio houses, the Portuguese. And of course, Baroque churches. For example, we have the Saint Cathedral in Goa and the Castello da Guarda in Mumbai. So this is Saint Cathedral in Goa. So this is the example of a Baroque church of the Portuguese. Look at the design of this church inside. Look at the church inside design. This is called a Baroque church, which we see in Goa, where the Portuguese shifted their headquarters to, isn't it? Baroque churches. This is the fort built in Mumbai by the Portuguese. This is on the southernmost island of Mumbai. Mumbai was later conquered by the Portuguese. So this is in a dilapidated condition, and this is called Castello da Aguada in Mumbai, built by the Portuguese. This is a fort, basically a fort. Then we come to the French. The French introduced modern city planning, urban city planning, as we see in Puducherry or Pondicherry and Chandannagore in Bengal. So they built their cities using the Cartesian grid plan and scientific architectural designs. And their style is called anonymous architecture. So Iberian style is called Portuguese adopted Iberian style of architecture. French style is called anonymous architecture, which we see in places like Pondicherry, uh, and also the Church of Sacred Heart of Jesus in Puducherry. So this is the Basilica of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. So look at the French windows, French doors. Many of you might be having French doors and windows in your houses. So that is French architecture. You see this? This is the picture of a French church inside picture to the right of your screen. So this is anonymous architecture. French style is called anonymous architecture. There's French windows, French doors. So if I have been to Pondicherry, I'm sure many of you might have gone there, or you might get a chance to go there. So you see, you feel as if you've come to a separate country if you go to certain parts of Pondicherry, because they're all, that was the headquarters of the French, Pondicherry, and you have beautiful French buildings there with French windows and doors. Suddenly you feel you've come to some other country. So this is French architecture. Then we come to the British. The British introduced the Gothic style. And when it merged with the Indian style, it is called Indo-Gothic or Victorian style. So introduced Gothic style of architecture. When it merges with Indian architecture, it is called Indo-Gothic or Victorian style. And post 1911, after 1911, the British introduced the Neo-Roman style, the Neo-Roman style of architecture, which we see in New Delhi. Are you there with me? So here, this is some of the buildings I have put here in the Gothic style or Victorian style. St. Paul's Cathedral in in Calcutta, St. Paul's Cathedral in Calcutta. So you look at pointed arches, you can see pointed arches, large windows. The walls were slimmer with large windows, pointed arches. They use poured concrete. I'll come to that. We'll look at the features of Indo-Gothic or Victorian style. So Indo-Gothic or Victorian style. So it's a blend of Indian with Persian and Gothic styles. What are the features? Extremely large and elaborate buildings, right? Walls are thinner. The walls of these buildings are thin. Are compared to the British, compared to the Mughal buildings, the walls are thinner. Arches were pointed, as you can see. The arches are pointed arches. Then large windows, as you can see, large windows, large windows. Then crucified ground plan, that is square in shape, crucified ground plan. Then advanced structural engineering, that is they use steel, iron, and poured concrete. What was used in Britain? Steel, iron, and poured concrete was used in their buildings. This is Indo-Gothic style or Victorian style, introduced by the British. So what are the other buildings? Victoria Memorial Hall in Calcutta, or Kolkata as it is called now, Kolkata. Yeah, good, Brajneet, you have gone there. That's nice. Then this is the earlier called Victoria Terminus, now called Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Terminus in Mumbai. I think it is the headquarters of the Southern Railways, or Western Railways. I think it's the headquarters of the Western Railways, if I'm right. The Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Terminus, or VT. Which is the first concrete monument? I'm not very sure about that, Krishna. What is the first concrete monument? Victoria Terminus. VT is Victoria Terminus. It's named after the Queen, Victoria. Victoria Terminus. Earlier called Victoria Terminus. Basically, it was a railway terminus. It was a railway terminus. The first railway, I think, in India, introduced by the British in India in 1853. Bombay to Thana, if I'm right. Yeah. Bombay to Thana. That was the first railway line introduced by the British in India in 1853. So this is the Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Terminus. So what is the difference between Iberian and Gothic? Iberian is Portuguese, you see. Iberian is Portuguese. And Gothic is British. So what is the difference between the two? So the Portuguese used brick. Brick was the main material, and they used wood for stairs and roof. For the roof and stairs, they used wood, whereas the building was made of bricks. The British used red sandstone along with limestone. Then the Portuguese continued the Western traditions. They did not make any changes to the design. Whatever was there in Portugal was exactly introduced in India. So they continued the Western traditions, whereas the British adopted Indian motifs. Indian styles were also adopted by the British. So it is called Indo-Gothic for that reason. right? Then we have Neo-Roman style. What is Neo-Roman style? We have the architects of New Delhi, Edwin Lutyens. As you can see on your screen, this is Edwin Lutyens to the left of your screen, and this is Herbert Baker. So these are the architects of New Delhi, and New Delhi is called Rome of Hindustan. It's called New Rome of Hindustan. So we have a congregation of many styles here. As you know, the capital was shifted from Calcutta to Delhi in 1911, following the Swadeshi movement. The British cancelled this idea of partition, and they shifted the capital from Calcutta to Delhi. So what is the main reason why they shifted? I'm sure all of you know this. What is the main reason? What are the two reasons why they shifted the capital from Calcutta to Delhi? Hello? Yeah, Swadeshi movement, I know that, Ankush. Bhimare, Sakshi says to control northern India. Who told you this, Sakshi? Ankush is right. Delhi was more peaceful. Very good. Delhi was more peaceful, politically peaceful compared to Bengal, Calcutta, which was the nerve center of anti-British activities. That was the hub of all anti-British activities, Calcutta. So therefore, they shifted the capital from Calcutta to Delhi. Delhi was politically peaceful. And what was the second reason? Shimna says Mughal seat. Not Mughal seat. Actually, this was a long-standing demand of the Muslims. You see, the British had proposed partition of Bengal province, and they had told the Muslims, they had played the communal card, the British, isn't it? And they had so told that in East Bengal and Assam, the Muslims will be in the majority after partition, and therefore the Muslims were supporting the British. But later the British cancelled this plan of partitioning Bengal, and that hurt the sentiments of the Muslims. They felt let down. So to appease the Muslims, to please the Muslims, they shifted the capital also to Delhi, because this had been the long-standing demand of the Muslims, that Delhi should be made the capital. Delhi had been the capital from the time of the Delhi Sultans, isn't it? From 1206, Delhi had been the capital, but the British were operating from Calcutta. So for these two reasons, the capital was shifted to Delhi. One is because politically peaceful, Delhi was politically peaceful, and the second was to appease the Muslims, please the Muslims. Okay. Anyway, you know more. Let me come back here. So here, what are the features of Neo-Roman style? What we see in Delhi, in the buildings of Delhi, North Block, South Block, then Connaught Place. Okay, then the Viceregal Lodge, that is now called Rashtrapati Bhavan. So these are all designed by architects Edwin Lutyens and Herbert Baker, the New Delhi, and the Rashtrapati Bhavan was on a hill, right? There was a forest there, so it was on a hill, a natural hill. So they demolished, or they cut off the forest. Most parts of the forest were cut off, and then the Viceregal Lodge, or what is now called Rashtrapati Bhavan, was built on top of that hill. That's why even now it's called Raisina Hill. It's even now called Raisina Hill. Yeah. Now let's come back and look at the features of Neo-Roman style. Constructions were anonymous. Constructions were anonymous. Confluence of all styles of architecture. So you have congestion of space. It looks like congested, cramped of space, because too many styles have been amalgamated in Delhi, New Delhi. Then simplicity, modernity, utility were compromised. Focus on circular buildings. So buildings are circular, for example, in Connaught Place. Then overuse of Oriental motifs, Western, Eastern motifs like lotus and such things. Then concept of upturned dome was introduced. Upturned dome, like for example, the dome of the Supreme Court, or for that matter, the Rashtrapati Bhavan. If you look at the Rashtrapati Bhavan dome, it looks like the Shanchi Stupa. It was the exact replica of the Shanchi Stupa. Look here. Look at the dome of the Rashtrapati Bhavan. See here. It is copying the Shanchi Stupa. The Shanchi Stupa. Right? So here, see, it has got a flattened top, like in a Harmika, you have flattened top. You have also a Vedika here, gallery here. So it looks like the Sanchi Stupa. It was modeled on the Sanchi Stupa, all the way into the balustrade railings. That's called upturned dome. So this is now called Amrit Udyan by the new government, Modi government, earlier called Mughal Gardens. This is a garden inside the Rashtrapati Bhavan. So please understand, quite a lot of articles came when this particular garden, originally called Mughal Gardens by the British. Now, why did the British call it as Mughal Gardens? Who designed these gardens? It is inside the Rashtrapati Bhavan. There's a 15-acre land, around the Rashtrapati Bhavan, and you have a garden which has been developed around the Rashtrapati Bhavan. Who was the person who designed this garden? Edwin Lutyens, the same man who designed New Delhi, who planned New Delhi, Sir Edwin Lutyens. And purposely the British called it as Mughal Gardens. Why? Because it follows the Char Bagh style. You have Char Bagh style of garden, like the Mughals had copied. 6 lotus-shaped fountains are there, and Mughal landscaping is there. Why did Edwin Lutyens follow the Mughal style of gardening around the Rashtrapati Bhavan or the Viceregal Lodge? Because I told you one of the reasons why they shifted the capital from Calcutta to Delhi was to please the Muslims, because they had let down the Muslims by cancelling the plan of partition in 1911. So therefore, according to this architect called K.T. Ravindran, calling the Mughal gardens as Amrut Udyan is technically wrong, because this is basically designed on the Mughal landscaping style, Char Bagh style of garden. So garden is designed on the Persian or Mughal style. Therefore, the British called it as Mughal gardens. But to call it as Amrut Udyan, renaming it as Amrut Udyan is technically wrong, according to K.T. Ravindran. Am I there with you? Not according to me. Because the garden is in the form of a Char Bagh style. So you have 2 canals coming and meeting there, artificial canals, and you have fountains. So there are 2,500 varieties of dahlia flowers, 120 varieties of roses, and 6 lotus-shaped fountains. Right. So therefore, it is planned according to the Mughal style. Right. So then, of course, these are you see here, this is Parliament House. Then this is the South Block, houses the Ministries of Defense, External Affairs, and Prime Minister's Office. So Ministries of Defense, External Affairs, and Prime Minister's Office is here in the South Block. Hope and pray. I'm sure many of you will be working here one day in the South Block or in the North Block. This is the second Central Secretariat of India. Central Secretariat of India in the North Block, Delhi. So all the best for that. Okay, then we come to some architects. For example, Le Corbusier. So this is the picture of Le Corbusier. Le Corbusier was a French architect, and after independence, you have 2 styles of architecture. Two schools of architecture emerge. One is the revivalist style, that is reviving Indian architectural styles, and then modernist, copying the Western styles. So both could not break down away from the colonial hangover. Both these schools could not break away from the colonial hangover. Pandit Nehru requisitioned the services of this French architect called Le Corbusier, and Le Corbusier designed the city of Chandigarh. So city of Chandigarh has been designed by him. How much it cost at that period? I have no idea. What is the cost you're talking about? The Viceregal Lodge, the Rashtrapati Bhavan. I'm talking about the Rashtrapati Bhavan, Hari. I'm not sure about the cost of that building, but I know that there are more than 300 bedrooms. There are more than 300 bedrooms in the Rashtrapati Bhavan. And once in a year, it is open to the public to view those gardens. And when I was staying in Delhi many years back, APJ Abdul Kalam was the president of India. At that point in time, they had allowed, I think even now that is allowed once in a month, once in a year. A month is, a part of the Rashtrapati Bhavan is opened up to view those gardens for the public. So that time you can go there and visit. Right? Okay, Writers Building in West Bengal. Okay, fine. So we'll come back here. So Le Corbusier. So this is the plan of the city of Chandigarh divided into many sectors. Chandigarh. Then Laurie Baker. Laurie Baker is called the architect of the poor. So he used locally available material to design or make buildings, houses in Kerala, even for the poor. So environment-friendly buildings, locally available material, concept of filler slab construction, all these things he has done. Laurie Baker, he revolutionized mass housing concept in Kerala. For example, I put a picture here. You see, this is a house designed by Laurie Baker in Kerala. A Kerala house design. You can see locally available material, stones, bamboo, cane, tiles. They are all locally available material used by Laurie Baker. Then about a year back or so, we have a very famous architect of India who died, B.V. Doshi. So B.V. Doshi died about a few months back, almost a year back. And then a few articles came in the magazines and newspapers about architects of India. So therefore, what I have done is I have given you a few slides where I have discussed important architects of India. Just in case UPSC asks a question, at least the important buildings designed by them. So for example, which are the buildings designed by B.V. Doshi? Balkrishna V. Doshi, one of the famous architects of India, LIC building, housing complex in Ahmedabad, the School of Architecture, then Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore. You see that the movie, Three Idiots movie, I'm sure many of you might have seen that movie, Three Idiots movie. That building where that movie was shot is the Indian Institute of Management, IIM Bangalore. So that is IIM Bangalore. That was designed by B.V. Doshi, the way the movie Three Idiots was made. Then Charles Correa is supposed to be the greatest architect of India, greatest architect of modern India. Charles Correa, he died a few years back. So these are the various buildings designed by Charles Correa, including this one in Portugal, the Champalimaud Center for the Unknown, Ismaili Center in Toronto, Canada. So these are the various buildings designed by him. Then Achyut P. Kanvinde, ISKCON Temple in Delhi, the Mother Dairy booth all over India. So the common design is common, Mother Dairy booth, that was designed by Achyut P. Kanvinde, right? Then this was there in the news when the new parliament building was inaugurated by the Prime Minister. We have the old parliament building and the new parliament building, and inside the new parliament building we have a pendulum that's called Foucault pendulum. So this is the picture of the Foucault pendulum in new parliament building. So I have put a small note on that. Please go through it, right? So let us come to the questions. Let us look at the questions from this art and architecture topic asked by the UPC till date. I had requested the team to send you a copy of the the model answers. Have you got it? Hello, I was told that it has been sent to all the students. I had asked them to send it. Have you got it? So please go through it. You have to holiday tomorrow and day after tomorrow, weekend. So please go through it. Model answers. You will get an idea as to how to answer those questions asked by the UPSC. All the questions from 2013 I have covered, and you can improve upon it. I'm sure you can write a better answer than that. It is just for you to get an understanding as to what could be the points you can mention in those questions, in those answers. Please go through it. You have got it. Very good. 2019 question. 2019 question. Try to answer them. Yeah, in email. I think so. It is in the email. Checha is asking, is it in email? Ankita, Dravid, Ghulam Mustafa. Is it in email? I think so. Is it in email? Ankita says no. Probably it is in the app, is it? Link pasted in chat. Okay. It is in the dashboard. Ghulam Mustafa says it's in the dashboard. Okay, Ankita. Checha. In the comment section. Okay, thank you. Okay, now 2019. Building Kalyana Mandapas. Now let us come back to the questions here, please. Try to answer them. Building Kalyana Mandapas was a notable feature in the temple construction in the kingdom of 2019. Question. Chalukyas, Chandelas, Rashtrakuta, Vijayanagara. The answer is Vijayanagara. We have done this, isn't it? Kalyana Mandapas. Then, next question. 2016. What is or are common to the two historical places known as Ajanta and Mahabalipuram? Both were built in the same period. Ajanta, what is the time period of Ajanta? Let us try to answer, Nayana. I know I have mentioned the answer here for your convenience, but let us try to reason out. I am not going by your answer. Let us try to Ajanta. Tell me the time period. 200 BC to 7th century AD is Ajanta. What about Mahabalipuram? Mahabalipuram belonging to the Pallava period, 6th century AD to 9th century AD. Therefore, do they belong to the same period? No, they belong to different periods. Both belong to the same religious denomination. Ajanta is what? We have done this. Ajanta is, and the theme is entirely what? At Ajanta, the theme at Ajanta is entirely Buddhism, isn't it? Whereas Mahabalipuram, the theme is what? Hinduism. It is Hinduism, Shiva and Vishnu. Therefore, it is not belonging to the same religious denomination. That is also wrong. Both have rock cut monuments. That is correct, isn't it? Ajanta, we have chaityas and viharas. Whereas at Mahabalipuram, we have mandapas, rathas, even structural temples made of stone. Therefore, third is correct. So select the answer. Answer is 3. That is, sorry, B. Only 3 is the correct answer. Yeah. Then we go to the next question, 2015 question. With reference to art and archaeological history of India, which among the following was made the earliest? Which was made the earliest? Lingaraja temple at Bhubaneswar, made in the 11th century AD. Rock cut temple at Dhauli, Mauryan period. Mauryan period. Mauryas ruled from what? 321 to 184 BC. Right. Then rock cut monuments at Mahabalipuram, Pallava period, 6 to the 12th, 6 to the 9th century AD. Varaha image at Udayagiri belongs to the Gupta period. Guptas ruled from 275 to 550 AD. Now you answer, which is the earliest of the lot? Answer is B, obviously. Rock cut elephant at Dhauli. Did you understand? Rock cut elephant at Dhauli is the answer. B is the answer. Then we move on. With reference to the Indian history of art and culture, consider the following pairs. 2014 question. So I have made a chart. UPSC had not given a chart like this, but for our convenience, I have made a chart like this. Okay. A grand image of Buddha's Mahaparinirvana with numerous celestial musicians above and the sorrowful figures of his followers below. Ajanta, it says. Answer is yes. You remember? You see here, I have put a picture. I have posted pictures in the PPTs on art and architecture, isn't it? Ajanta. So I have put this picture here. So Buddha is sleeping the way he slept when he died between two salt trees. So you have the people on the earth, they're crying because Buddha has died, whereas people in the heavens are rejoicing because Buddha is going to come and join them. And that's what UPSC asked. This is in cave number 26 in Ajanta. So the first matching is correct. A huge image of Varaha avatar, that is boar incarnation of Vishnu, as he rescues goddess Earth from the deep and chaotic water sculpted on rock. It says Mount Abu. This is wrong. This is in Udayagiri. It is in Udayagiri, isn't it? In Madhya Pradesh. It is not in Mount Abu, Rajasthan. Arjuna's parents or descent of the Ganga, sculpted on the surface of huge boulders. This is in Mahabalipuram. This is right. And I have told you also, I've shown you the picture when you read it, Pallavan period. And also Pallavan art and architecture. So the which are correctly matched, 1 and 3 is the answer. Yes, 1 and 3 is the answer, right? Then, with reference to the cultural history of India, the term Panchayatan, this is again a UPSC question, the year is missing here. So, Panchayatana style is what? A style of temple construction. Look at other choices, an assembly of village elders, a religious sect, an administrative functionary. Answer is a style of temple construction. Then, with reference to Buddhist history, tradition, and culture in India, consider the following pairs. 2014 question. Which of the place given above is correctly matched? They're asking. Famous shrine and location. Tabo Monastery and Temple Complex, Spiti Valley. That is correct. Lotsava Lakhang, Zanskar Valley. No, that is in the Kinnaur district of Himachal Pradesh. So second choice is wrong. Alchir Complex, Ladakh. That is correct. So 1 and 3 is the answer. And I have given you the list of monasteries, viharas and chaityas. I have given you the list of viharas and chaityas. So please revise them. So that is the answer. 1 and 3. C is the answer. Nagara, Dravida, Vesara are what? Such an easy question. Again, this is a UPSC question. 3 main styles of Indian temple architecture. Now, please answer this. With reference to the history of Indian rock cut architecture, consider the following statements. 2013 question. The canvas at Badami are the oldest surviving rock cut caves in India. Second statement. The Barabara rock cut caves were originally made for Ajivikas by Emperor Chandragupta Maurya. At Ellora, caves were made for different faiths. Which of the above statements are correct? They're asking. So, which is the first statement? What is the answer? The canvas at Badami are the oldest surviving rock cut caves in India. Which is the oldest rock cut cave? Shimna has hit the bullseye. Very good, Shimna. Barabar. The canvas at Badami are the oldest surviving rock cut caves in India? No. Oldest surviving rock cut caves are the Barabara Hills. Remember, Ashoka donated 4 caves to the Ajivika monks. And in fact, the answer to the first statement is found in the second statement. Barabara rock cut caves. That is the answer to the first statement. The Barabara rock cut caves were originally made for Ajivikas by Emperor Chandragupta Maurya. Yes or no? It was made by Emperor. Which emperor? Ashoka, isn't it? Shimna is again right. So second statement is wrong. At Ellora, caves are made for different faiths. Yes or no? Ellora, all the 3 religions are represented at Ellora, isn't it? All the 3 religions are represented at Ellora. So therefore, the third statement is correct. Okay, so here only 3 is the answer. 2013 question. Some Buddhist rock cut caves are called chaityas, where others are called viharas. What is the difference between the two? Chaitya is a place of worship, while vihara is a dwelling place of the monks. Very easy question. Then 2018 question. With reference to the cultural history of India, consider the following statements. White marble was used in making Buland Darwaza and Kanka at Fatehpur Sikri. Buland Darwaza, we have seen the picture. Is it white marble? No. It is what color? Red sandstone. Therefore, this statement is wrong. Then red sandstone and marble were used in making Bara, Imambara and Rumi Darwaza at Lucknow. It is made of bricks. This is again wrong. Bricks is the answer. It is made of bricks. Red sandstone and marble, not red sandstone marble. Bara, Imambara and Rumi Darwaza. It was made of bricks at Lucknow by Asafud Dawla. Asafud Dawla was the Nawab. Asafud Dawla, and he was the one who made both these monuments at Lucknow. It is made of bricks. Therefore, which of the statements are correct? None of the above are correct. Then, 2017 question. Which of the following is or are famous for sun temples? Arsavalli, Amarkantak, Omkareshwar. Answer is Arsavalli in Andhra. So the answer is that I have given you the list of 12 important sun temples in India. In that list, Arsavalli is there in Andhra Pradesh. Martand is there, correct. Martand is there. Modera Sun Temple is there. Sun Temple at Domlur in Bangalore is there. Suryanar Temple. Okay. Dakshinarka Temple. There's so many temples, important ones. So please go through it. UPSC had asked the question. Then with reference to Chausat Yogini Temple situated near Morena, consider the following statements. I put the picture in my PPTs in art and architecture. 2021 question, they've asked this. It is a circular temple built during the reign of Kachagapata dynasty. That is right. It is the only circular temple built in India. Whenever there is a word called only, generally it is wrong. It is not the only circular temple in India. There are many other circular temples. Like, for example, the Maniyar Mutt at Rajgir. It was meant to promote the Vaishnava cult, the Shakta cult. Its design has given rise to a popular belief that it was the inspiration behind the Indian Parliament building. That is right. So Which of the statements given above are correct? It is 1 and 4. 1 and 4 are correct. The old Parliament building, Ankush, we have done this. You remember? Let me show you that picture. Wait. I think it has been removed. It has been removed because, yeah. Please see your, it will be shared with you. Don't worry. We have done that. You remember, you have a Shiva temple in the middle, and then there are 64 small shrines for the Chausat Yogi. It's called Chausat Yogini, 64 yoginis, right? At Morena. So that was the original temple for the inspiration for the old Parliament building. Ankush, is it true? New Parliament is Ram temple. Is it true? I don't think so. Ankush is saying the inspiration for the new Parliament is Ram temple. I don't think so. Is it? I don't think so. Where did you read this, Ankush? Where did you read this? Okay. Anyway, we'll move on. I don't think that is the case. I don't think that is the case. Now let's move on. Consider the following pairs. 2021. Historical place and well known for. Burzu home, rock cut shrines. So this is part of the first chapter of ancient India, Stone Age or prehistoric cultures. So in the first chapter in your ancient India syllabus, I cover this in detailed manner. Burzu home is a Neolithic site in Kashmir. And Burzu home, we find pit dwellings there because Kashmir is a place of extreme climatic conditions. The temperature plummets down below zero. It will be -10, -20, even -30 in some places in Kashmir. We never had any rock cut shrines in the Neolithic period in Burzo home or anywhere else. So therefore, the first match is wrong. Chandraketugad, terracotta art. This is correct. Chandraketugad is a place in West Bengal. And in 2020, this is a question asked in 2021. In 2020, Chandraketugad was in the news. It was in part of the current affairs. So in the excavations and in West Bengal at a place called Chandraketugad, terracotta art has been found. So terracotta is made of clay and burned in the kiln or fired in the kiln. So there a huge cache of terracotta art was found at Chandraketugad. So that statement is correct. That match is correct. Ganeshwar, we have found copper artifacts there. Ganeshwar is an OCP site, ochre colored pottery site. Remember, please revise your first chapter of ancient India, prehistoric cultures or Stone Age. It is there in that. So Ganeshwar is one of the OCP sites. That is ochre colored pottery sites. That is correct. So the answer is 2 and 3. 2 and 3 is correctly matched. Okay, anyway, Ghulam Mustafa and Sumo says the new parliament is inspired from the Vijaya temple of Vidisha. I don't know this. Please let me be frank. I don't know this particular aspect, but let me confirm. Let me read up and let me see. I'm not very sure about that. Okay. 2021. Which of the following statements are correct? Ajanta caves lie in the gorge of the Vagora river. That is right. Okay. Let us look at the other statements. Ajanta caves lies in the gorge of the Vagora river. It is also in the Vagora hills, Ajanta caves, though that is right. Sanchi Stupa lies in the gorge of the Chambal river. This is not correct. It is in Bhopal near Madhya Pradesh. I've given the answers here. You see down below. Sanchi Stupa is near Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. Pandulena cave shrines lie in the gorge of the Narmada river. No, this is in the Gomal river, Maharashtra. Pandulena. Amaravati Stupa lies in the gorge of the Godavari river. Again, this is wrong. This is in the Krishna river near Vijayawada. Near Vijayawada and Guntur. Amaravati Stupa. Not on the gorge of the Godavari. It is on the gorge of the Krishna river. Okay. Ghulam Mustafa says Betwa. Betwa is okay, fine. Sanchi Stupa is on the gorge of the Chambal river, no, near Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. Sanchi Stupa. Okay, Betwa is the answer. Okay, fine. Thank you. Then look at other questions. Consider the following pairs: temple and state. Hoysaleshwara, Karnataka. Trayambakeshwar, Madhya Pradesh. Brihadeshwara, Tamil Nadu. Lingaraja, Andhra. How many pairs are given or correctly matched? So Hoysaleshwara, Karnataka is right. Trayambakeshwar is in Maharashtra, not Madhya Pradesh. Brihadeshwara is in Tamil Nadu, that's right. Lingaraja is in Orissa, Bhubaneswar, not Andhra. So only two pairs are correct. So B is the answer. And the answer is here. You can see Hoysaleshwara, Karnataka, Trayambakeshwar, Maharashtra, Brihadeshwara, Tamil Nadu, Lingaraja, Orissa. With reference to the Archaeological Survey of India, consider the following statements. The prime concern of the ASI is maintenance of ancient monuments and archaeological sites and remains of national importance. That is correct. It does not regulate the Antiquities and Art Treasure Act. This is wrong. It does regulate it. Alexander Cunningham was appointed as the first Director General of ASI. That is correct. So how many statements are correct? Two are correct. Only two. The first and the third. The answer is here. So please go through it. The answer is here. Then match the following here. Consider the following pairs. Temple and location. Lakshmana Temple, Himachal Pradesh. No, it is in Khajuraho. Dashavatara in Madhya Pradesh. That is correct. Kamakhya in West Bengal. So Dashavatara is in UP, not Madhya Pradesh. Then the Kamakhya in West Bengal. No, it is in Assam. Terracotta in UP. No, it's in West Bengal. So how many pairs are correctly matched? None is matched. Matched correctly. That's the answer. So Lakshmana in Khajuraho. Dashavatara temple in Uttar Pradesh, Deoghar, Kamakhya in Guwahati, Assam, and terracotta temples famous in West Bengal. Okay. With reference to the Sri Ranganatha Swami temple, consider the following statements. The temple is dedicated to Lord Vishnu. So Ranganatha is a form of Vishnu, that is right. The temple was constructed in the Nagara style of architecture. No, it is in the Dravida style. Temple has a unique Sapta Prakaram formation, sevenfold Prakaram formation. That is correct. So how many statements are correct? That is 1 and 2. Two statements are correct. Okay, so the answer is B, and the explanation is given here. The explanation is here. So this is on the island of Srirangam, the Ranganatha Swami temple. This is an island formed by the rivers Kaveri and Kollidam. Kollidam is a supposed tributary of the Kaveri river. And this has got a Sapta Prakaram habitation pattern. That is 7 concentric rectangular enclosures or prakarams, right? And this is in the Dravida style, not in the Nagara style. So this is about art and architecture, right? This is about art and architecture. Let us come to any doubts here. Can I move on to the next topic, Indian dance? Let's talk about Indian dance. Any doubts here? Sakshi is asking, covering head is compulsory in many religions like Hindu, Sikhism, and Muslims. Is there any scientific reason? Scientific reason, I don't know. Sakshi. Covering head is compulsory. Covering in Hinduism, it is compulsory. Covering the head. Ankita, Lahore Masjid, let us move to the next chapter. When you get the PPTs, go through the, that's the Badshahi Mosque in Lahore, Badshahi Mosque, built by Aurangzeb. For married women while entering in temple. Is it? I have not seen that in South India. Is it compulsory to cover the head in North India for a Hindu girl, for a Hindu woman, married woman while entering a temple? And yes, in Bengal it's called Ghomta. Okay. Okay, fine. Let us come to this part here. Yeah, Tanishta is right. See, why in Islam it's compulsory for a girl to cover her head. I know that because hair is also attractive to the opposite sex, right? When a good-looking girl or even a girl with long hairs is attracted by the opposite sex. Therefore, it is to prevent that unnecessary attention. That's what I would say. Now we'll come back here. Let's focus on the topic at hand, Indian dance. Let's talk about Indian dance now. And in Rajasthan also, women used to cover their face. Rajput women used to cover their face. A veil was worn, right? They would not show their face to strangers. That is part of the tradition, and I think the main reason is that because her hair is one, the woman's hair is a form of attraction for the opposite sex. It is to it is to cover their hair. Out of, I think, for that reason, main reason is that. Okay, now let us come to Indian dances. Ankush, okay, fine. Let us focus on the topic, please. Ankush, stop joking now. Let's focus on the class. Ankush says by seeing by seeing covered head, some people get more interested. Okay, fine. Jokes apart, let's focus on the topic. Indian dance. So the best representation for Indian dance is the Nataraja dance. You can see the Nataraja Murti, the Shiva in the form of a dancer called Nataraja, the Lord of Dance. Shiva is called the Lord of Dance, and I have put a picture of the Nataraja Murti here, popularized by the Cholas. Okay, this is a Chola Nataraja statue as such. We'll come to that. UPSC had asked a question in the mains about what is the significance of the Nataraja dance. I'll answer that later. So in whatever time we have, let us focus on the topic at hand. So here, Indian dance. Now, how do I present this topic to you? From the exam point of view. You see, we have classical dances in India. Classical dances. What is called Shastriya Nritya. In Sanskrit, Shastriya Nritya. Shastriya Nritya. Now, what is Shastriya Nritya or classical dances? We have strict rules here. Strict rules are there to perform these dances. There are strict rules, and these rules are mentioned in the book Natya Shastra or other books. But for example, we have the Bharatanatyam. Bharatanatyam, popular in Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, in South India. And the rules of the Bharatanatyam are mentioned in the Natya Shastra. And there is no scope for innovation. You cannot improvise or innovate in Bharatanatyam, in the classical dances. So you strictly follow the rules. And we have 8 classical dances in India. There are 8 classical dances like Bharatanatyam, Kuchipudi, Kathakali, Kathak, Odissi, Satriya. Like that, there are 8 classical dances. And which is the organization which certifies whether a dance is classical or not? It is a Sangeet Natak Academy. So Sangeeta Natak Academy is the institution which certifies whether a particular dance is classical or not. So according to the Sangeeta Natak Academy, there are 8 classical dances of India. But if you go to the Ministry of Culture website, we see one more added to this list of 8. That is Chow dance. Chow is not mentioned in the list given by the Sangeet Natak Academy. So if there's a question asked, India has how many classical dances? The answer is 8. Because these are the 8 recognized dances by the Sangeet Natak Academy as classical dances of India. Right. Now here in the classical dances of India, we have basically the theme is a fight between good and evil. Dance is portrayed where you have a fight between the good and the evil, the Sur and the Asur, gods and demons, and ultimately it is the god who will triumph over the evil. So that is the main theme of these classical dances. Right. Now dances have 2 aspects. One is Tandava and the other is Lasya. Tandava is the what? Tandava is the movement and rhythm. It denotes movement and rhythm. It's more the physical and the energetic part of the dance, the Tandava. Lasya is more the feminine aspect. It shows bhava, rasa, abhinaya, emotions, expressions. That is called Lasya. So it has 2 main aspects to it. We'll come back here. We'll just hold on. So dance has been given a divine status in India. I believe it is Narada Muni, who is supposed to have introduced dance on this earth. Sorry, music. Music was introduced by Narada Muni. Dance is supposed to be the 5th Veda. Brahma is supposed to have combined the essence of all the 4 Vedas and introduced a 5th Veda called Natya Veda. the fifth Veda called Natya Veda. And the image of dancing Shiva or Nataraja is the best representation of Indian dance. So we have dances in India which mark many things. Like, for example, we have classical dances of India, we have folk dances, like then we have tribal dances, we have martial dances. So there are different types of dances in India. So you have easy flowing movements, exotic headgears, exotic dresses worn by the dancers. They are done to mark various occasions, like, for example, change of seasons, harvest time, then during marriages also, the marriages, festivals. So on various occasions, we have dances performed in India. And it is a reflection of the rich culture and tradition of this country, right? So Indian dance is classified into classical, folk, tribal, and martial. Did you understand? Yeah, I'm coming to that. Sumo, Purulia Chow dance is one form of Chow dance. We'll come to that. So, what are the various classical dances of India? There are 8 classical dances: Bharatanatyam, Kathak, Kathakali, Kuchipudi, Manipuri, Mohiniyattam, Odissi, and Satriya. Now, please understand, I am a history teacher. I am not a dance teacher. Okay, so let me give you a disclaimer here. There are various technical aspects to a dance. Now, and UPSC doesn't expect you to be a dancer, classical dancer. They would want you to know some basics of classical dance and about dances in India. Right? They don't expect you to be a practicing dancer. Having said that, there may be some serious exponents of dance here, practitioners of dance, or your parents might be, or some of your family members might be. So technical aspects of this dance, I will not know, right? Because I'm a simple history teacher. But whatever I can make you understand. I will try my best. So this is a disclaimer I'm giving you. Same thing with respect to music. So music has many technical aspects. What is tala, what is laya, um, you know, etc. We'll come to that when I come to music chapter. I'll come to that. Now, what is important from the exam point of view, I'll let you know. These are the 8 classical dances of India: Bharatanatyam, Kathakali, Mohiniyattam, etc., Kuchipudi, Odissi, Kathak. Now, what you need to know is the history of these dances. From the exam point of view, history of these dances. Okay, where is this dance performed? Whether it's a male dance or a female dance, or it is done by both males and females. For example, Bharatanatyam, generally done by females, but the teacher is a male, generally. You understand? Bharatanatyam, generally performed by females when it began initially, right? Now it is done by both. But then generally the dancers are females, but the teacher is a guru, is a male. But now done by both. So whether it's a male or a female dance or done by both, that's what is important. Then history of this dance, who was the person behind its revival, right? Why did the dance lose its respectability? What does it denote? For example, Bharatanatyam denotes fire. It is supposed to be a fire dance. So what does it denote? And the major important exponents of these dances. Who are the important exponents or practitioners of this dance? This is what is important from the exam point of view. Okay, so we will talk about it. This is how we. It's factual in nature. Now I will. You have a website. Please, in your leisure after class, maybe you go on YouTube. Please go on YouTube. Then you type wildfilms.com, wildfilms, very quaintly named, wildfilms.com. So if you type wildfilms.com, you will get a video on classical dances of India. I think wildfilmsindia.com. It may be, I think it's wildfilmsindia.com. Right, wildfilmsindia.com. So you go on that and you get a video on classical dances of India. So please go through, you see that video. I don't have the technology to show that video to you. Classical dances of India. Right. So classical dances, folk dances, tribal dances, martial dances. But then we have people, dancing in marriages. You might have seen after having some drinks, they dance, or there's a person who has died. So when the dead body is being taken to the burial ground or to the funeral pyre, people drink and dance. So that is a different type of a dance. There's no rules for that, right? But then classical dances have rules, strict rules. Now we'll come back here. Bharatanatyam. Oh, that is nice, Ankush. Okay, it is there, Garima. You would go on YouTube when you type classical dances of India, you'll get it. Okay, classical dances of India. You'll get a few. You please type classical dances of India on YouTube. You'll get that video by wildfilms.com. Wild Films India, I think. Wild Films India. I know why they've called it as Wild Films India. Okay, nothing wild there. It is only dance. We'll come to that. Bharatanatyam. So Bharatanatyam, as you all know, is very popular in South India, particularly in the states of Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. It incorporates the culture of these three states: Karnataka, Andhra, and Tamil Nadu. Karnataka, Andhra, and Tamil Nadu. So it is the fusion of three eminent cultures. And this dance is mentioned in the Shilapadigaram, the Tamil epic Shilapadigaram. It is also mentioned in the Bharatanas Natya Shastra. Bharatanatyam. It is supposed to be coming from three words: Bhava. No, the first three letters: Bhava, Raga, and Tala. Bhava means rhythm, Raga is expression, and Tala is melody. So when you take the first or two or three letters, Bha, Ra, Ta. So that's where the word Bharatanatyam is supposed to have come from. The music which accompanies Bharatanatyam dance is Carnatic music. It's Carnatic music, and it draws inspiration from the temple of Chidambaram. So in Tamil Nadu, we have a place called Chidambaram, right? And inside the Chidambaram temple, we have the main deity. Main deity is Shiva, who is standing in a Nataraja form. So Shiva is in a Nataraja form, dancing Shiva. So the dance Bharatanatyam is directly inspired by the Chidambaram temple. Now please understand, earlier in ancient times, I believe this dance, Bharatanatyam, was performed by Devadasis. So who are Devadasis? Devadasis were girls who were dedicated to the temple by some families. So the girl from a particular family is sent away by the family in almost abandoned, and that girl is dedicated to the temple. So she's supposed to stay in the temple and then serve the god, And this girl was taught Bharatanatyam. Unfortunately, the Devadasis were exploited by the high and the mighty. The influential sections of society, like the zamindars, the rich people, will exploit this girl. And she was almost reduced to a prostitute, unfortunately, reduced to a prostitute. And since the Devadasi girl did the Bharatanatyam, the dance also came to be looked down upon because this was performed by the Devadasis. Do you understand? Therefore, the Bharatanatyam lost its respectability. Now, we have a person called Rukmini Devi Arundale. So she was the wife of George Arundale. George Arundale, one of the accomplices of Mahatma Gandhi. So one of the freedom, during the freedom struggle. So Rukmini Devi Arundale, along with a freedom fighter called V.K. Krishna Iyer. V.K. Krishna Iyer, he was a freedom fighter. These two people joined together and they revived this dance form and gave respectability to this dance form. They gave respectability to this dance form. Right. So the present form of Bharatanatyam evolved from Tanjavur. As you can see here, it was originally uh, derived from the word Sadir, the solo dance performance by the Devadasis. Therefore, it was called Dasiyattam. And I found a picture in one of, in the Frontline magazine. You see, this is a group of Devadasis dressed in white color, and they're posing before a marquee. So a marquee is a tent. You can see the background is a tent. before their performance in Madras, in Chennai, in the early 20th century. So this is the picture of Devadasis, right? So the dance performed by these Devadasis was Bharatanatyam, and since they were reduced to prostitutes, the dance also came to be looked down upon. It was revived by Rukmini Devi Arundel and E. Krishna Iyer. Then we have four famous teachers from Tanjavur. They are called Tanjavur Quartet: Chinnaya, Vadivelu, Ponnaya, and Shivanandam. So these four people laid the rules for Bharatanatyam. So whatever rules are followed in Bharatanatyam dance was laid by these four people from Tanjavur. They are called Tanjavur Quartet: Chinnaya, Ponnaya, Vadivelu, Shivanandam. Very popular in Tamil Nadu. Music is Carnatic style. And what are the accompanying instruments? Cymbals, that cymbals, like two plates, you do that. Like, do bhajan, that's called cymbals. Mridangam, then flute, veena, and violin. Then we have Bala Saraswati, who is considered to be the queen of Bharatanatyam. And who are the other exponents? Mrinalini Sarabhai. So Mrinalini Sarabhai was the wife of Vikram Sarabhai, the space scientist. Then Indrani Yamini Krishnamurti, Shanta Rao, Sonal Mansi, Leela Samson. So this is Bharatanatyam for you. Okay, I think I have run out of time. I'll stop here. My mail address is this: vijay.kumar@byju's.com. So please go through your PPTs, go through your textbooks, and so look at that video on YouTube, Classical Dances of India, www.wildfilmsindia.com, I think. So you'll get a video. Go through it before we meet tomorrow, next week. Now we'll meet on Monday and finish many topics. Bharatanatyam, one is dance, then I have literature, then philosophy, science and technology, etc. We'll cover those topics, including painting. So another major topic which will take some time is painting. Once I finish painting, the rest of the topics are small. So don't think I'm hurrying the class. No, these topics are small and also factual in nature. So wherever it is factual, I'll go through it. I can go through it faster. I myself don't know, Ghulam Mustafa. When will the recording be available? I hope as soon as possible. I'll remind them again. So I have class till 30th, Ankush. Till 30th, I should be able to finish art and culture by 30th. If not, maybe I'll 1 or 2 classes I might take extra, but we will finish it. Don't worry. Sumo, you please mail me. I'll forward it to the concerned team and also remind them whatever is your problem, if whatever problems you're facing. So you have a great weekend, safe weekend. Keep studying hard, smart, and we'll meet on Monday, same time. Right? Yes, I'll be doing the world history section, Ankush. Okay. Thank you very much. Good night. I'll log out. Okay. Thank you very much. Have a safe weekend. Good night. If there, whatever is there, is a problem query, please mail me. Huh? I'll do my bit by forwarding it to the concerned people. Thank you very much. Good night.